All right, yay! Look at us. We're all here together. KB Artist, Kevin. KB Artist. It's Kevin. Kevin's in there first in the chat room. Welcome in. It's the Rant with me, Pugs Moran, every day, Monday through Friday since 2021, here from the Kelly Moore Memorial Studios in the beautiful E-Gallery in Dallas's fantastic design district. Talk radio for normal people. Don't do a lot of politics. Hate politics. I hate what politics has done to us. Ugh. Anyway, we're going to do some politics today. What a day. Actually, we're not going to do politics because I'm not going to take any partisan position. I'm going to, who was the guy? Was it Caligula? Wait, who was the Roman emperor who just, played the fiddle while Rome burned? Who was that? Was that Caligula? No, that was another guy, wasn't it? That was the crazy one. Was Caligula the crazy one? I mean, Caligula was crazy. He was like sex crazy and he had, Roman orgies and all that. That's from the Caligula times. But Nero, it's Nero. There you go. Look at me. The Emperor Nero fiddled. Call me Nero because I can't even do the normal show. I can't even start with that. God, do you guys know what Elon Musk just tweeted? 2:10. It is 2:22. Do you know what Elon Musk just tweeted? Holy shit. As a matter of fact, I need to do some due diligence before is that really him? I mean, it was on Twitter. You would think that no one would be able to hack Elon Musk on Twitter, right? Holy shit. Well, let's take a look at it, shall we? Let's see. What did he now, Elon and Trump, two guys, people just love. They're exactly the same. I love them. Elon's big old MAGA. Elon, as I told you yesterday, was only MAGA for one reason. Because the coronavirus and the restrictions put in place by government agencies at the time made it hard for him to get car batteries for his little electric go-go cars. So he got all fucking angry and decided that he was going to use his influence and money to fuck up the United States, to get everything done that benefits him. That's what it was all about. It was never about him being a Trumper. It was never about him liking the man like you, Grandma in Alabama. I just love me some Donald J. Trump. No, Elon was using the man. And the man loved it because the man thinks Elon is the coolest thing going. Why? For one fucking reason, because he's the richest man in the world. And we've got a president who gets starstruck, which is so humiliating for us as a people, but whatever, we digress. So they're buddies. Elon gets him elected. Everyone's like, hey, Elon's doing some things. Yeah. But everything's great. Everything's great as long as it's all working out well for the world's richest man. Who, by the way, I mean, all you people, he's out there. Elon's on stage with the American flag, waving it and all that fucking shit. This guy was raised by a billionaire blood diamond dealer in an apartheid state. And you people are like, nah, he's just like us. As I remind you all, Elon Musk has never authentically celebrated the 4th of July. Never! I mean, maybe he was in this country at the 4th of July and he went to a party, but not like us, not like little kids and hot dogs and jet skis. And no, man. I mean, look, he's just a rich guy and we've given him so much power. So much power we've given this guy solely because he's rich. That's it. That's his only qualification. All of these fucking people, why do we do this? We got to stop equating the accumulation of wealth with good. Now, they're obvious. He's a great man. He made $5 million in a week once. What a great man. He's got 4 wives and children that don't speak to him. And, he's been investigated by authorities numerous times, but he can afford the good lawyers. So, But he's a great man. And by the way, I don't think I was speaking specifically on anybody there. That was just a random description of a million of these people that are out there who we all carry water for. So now we got two of them. We got two of them here in this country. The two biggest. I mean, not the two biggest. Trump's not even a billionaire. Well, he is now. Trump's a billionaire now. But when this whole thing started, he wasn't a billionaire. He said he was a billionaire, but he was never actually a billionaire. His debt would not allow him to have been a billionaire. But he is a billionaire now. Oh, yeah. Oh, the Trump family has increased their wealth. I mean, it's been a nonstop concert tour for 8 years, right? So he's selling tickets. Well, I know they're not tickets sold, but boy, oh boy, them fucking hats aren't free. And then the guy who in 2016 was like, crypto is going to kill the American economy is now like a crypto billionaire himself. So anyway, doesn't matter. So the billionaires are fighting. It started today. Trump was in the Oval Office. He was with the German chancellor, the German guy. I'm loving these moments. I'm loving these Trump with other heads of state in the Oval Office moments. They're some of the best. Just because the other heads of state, who most of us don't know from Adam, right? We don't know who that person is, but they always look so uncomfortable. They always look like, all right, I'm going to sit out here and be a prop for this guy for the next 10 minutes while he talks about a stolen election from 4 years ago. I love them. So I do. I find them very enjoyable. And if you've noticed, these are the Trump press conferences where we get the best shit. Oh, this is where Trump is unafraid. You know why? Because he's sitting next to another head of state and he's trying to impress him. So you will never get Trump to be anything other than loud, proud, and like, I'm the rightest guy in the room. You'll never get anything less than that than when Trump is sitting next to a world leader. And I like today with the German chancellor, when Trump started ranting about Musk. Oh, so great. When Trump started ranting about Musk today, I'm watching the German chancellor, and he's just like, he had been advised, he had been coached. He did the best job of anyone so far. Stone-faced Germans, you expect nothing less from the German people. Very stone-faced, very stoic, very cold. He just kind of sat there as Trump was like, I don't know. I think Elon's got Trump derangements. He used to be a good guy. We used to be friends. I don't think so anymore. It's basically what Trump said. Anyway, Trump said a whole bunch of stuff. It's obvious that both of these fucking guys are like, they're injuring one another with these little back and forths, because the return volleys always have a little extra, you're mean on it. So just a couple of minutes before we signed on here, and by the way, I've been watching this develop for the last hour and a half, 2 hours maybe, since Trump wrapped up his Oval Office meeting with the German chancellor. Oval Office. I don't even know that was the Oval Office. I just say that. See, that's another example of programming, something I talk about. I felt that word fit right there, and I just said it, and it doesn't really seem appropriate because I don't think it was in the Oval Office, or maybe it was. I don't know. So a couple of minutes before we signed on here, I always do this. I check Twitter one last time. Okay, so 17 minutes ago. Here we go. Here's Elon Musk. Ha! Elon Musk dropping the bomb. All right, there it is. That is Elon Musk from about 17 minutes ago. Elon says, time to drop the really big bomb. That's what Elon says. Ooh, you have my attention. He's adding him. It's going to be a Twitter fight between the wealthiest man in the world and the leader of the free. Oh my God, we are so fucked. A Twitter fight between these guys. So that the chorus, so that the peanut gallery, so that all of us can have our, yeah. Oh, these two fucking egomaniacs, they are something else. Unchecked. I mean, Elon's borderline retarded. He's basically retarded. He's so high up on the spectrum and drug-addled at this point. Anything is possible, which is what we got here. So he @real Donald Trump. @real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files, says Elon Musk. And that is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT. Elon Musk saying what we all know, but my God! Of course. Well, yeah, duh. Trump and Epstein were buddies, man. And they've tried to cover that up for years and years. And oh my God. Everybody knows that. That's why Cash Patel and Don Bonji or whatever. They're not loyal to the truth. They're not loyal. They're loyal to Trump. My God, Don Bon John Young. That guy was doing bad radio. Now he's like the assistant director of the FBI. So yeah, that's who these guys are. All of them. All of them are just, yeah, I'll sell out the fucking country and the Constitution and our system of justice if it means that I get a better job and maybe, who knows, a better book deal in 10 years. Let's see how that plays out for me. It's fucking gross. These people are all gross. And you guys carry water for one side or the other. It doesn't matter. I don't give a fuck if you're a dumb fucking liberal, or I don't give a fuck if you're one of these fucking inbred MAGA fucks. Stop it. All of us, stop it. They're all fuck. So let's get this straight, right? Let's get this straight. All of you people who've been carrying water from Elon Musk for whatever reason, making me feel like shit every time I remind you that Elon Musk is a monster. Oh, Pugs, you just don't like MAGA. No, you're right. I fucking don't like MAGA. But on a completely unrelated topic, I also don't like Elon Musk. Other than the space stuff. You know I'm big on the space stuff, and I would really like it if that fucking retard could just concentrate on Mars. Elon Musk says Donald Trump is in the Epstein files, and that is why we don't have the Epstein files. Have a good day, people. And that's how we start today's rant. Holy cow. I mean, holy cow. Frank Smith's in the chat room. By the way, Frank, thank you, Frank. Frank tipped the show yesterday. We got one tip fucking yesterday. And it's sweet and it's kind. And thank you, Frank. But I can't make Frank the executive producer of today's show. We don't have an executive producer today. Frank tipped $1, which was he does this from time to time, and I love it, and it's great, and it was a part of the plan from the beginning. If everybody could just do that, tell your friends and share the show and all that kind of stuff, and if everybody just like $1 every couple of weeks or something, the show would be fine. But no, and Frank, fucking God bless him. Frank's still out there. We are dying here this month. We are fucking dead in the water this pledge week. We made like $35, 36, sorry, 30. So anyway, so I'm not going to talk about it at all today because it's over. It's done. We're moving on. We're just going to have fun in the moment and we'll see where this whole thing goes. But Frankie, thank you, buddy. That was very kind. It was very kind. Frankie, it is also $1. So, can't really do much with that. Now, if you could get 190 of your friends together, because we're nowhere fucking near wherever we need to be. But I'm used to it. That's the other thing. Somebody pointed this out to me, and they're absolutely right. And I've been thinking this for a while now. This is the 4th month in a row that we have failed to make it. This is the Trump economy. This is the fucking middle class being squeezed. People don't have an extra $10 a month. People that used to tip. There were people that were paying like $50 more sometimes for this show, which is great. And I fucking hate that had to be a thing. The idea was maybe, $1 or $2 and, by size we could grow. And those people can't do that no more. And I don't hold it against them. They're lovely individuals who have kept us through, this far. But why do those not happen anymore? It's because of the fucking economy, man. Nobody's got extra money. Nobody. And I know that because my people are all middle-class people. My people are all people with kids. My people are all people who are paying mortgages, working. We don't need rich people around here. We don't like the fucking rich people. We're the working class. We're real American people. So thank you to all of you who have made this thing fucking go for 3 years, 3.5 years, going on to 4 years. But it is not lost on me that it is a direct result of the current state of the fucking American economy, where the middle class are the ones who are once again going to have to just put up with it while the other nations come to the table. And while, People can't sell their fucking homes. Ugh. All right, whatever. So, we started the show a little strange. Jumped right out of the box with the Elon Musk Trump stuff, and we're gonna get back into that more because as soon as we get the show started in earnest, we're gonna look at some new tweets. I don't know, man. Crazy. April, fuck that. Don't say that, April. April in the chat room. I don't ever want to hear any kind of excuse from you. You own nothing, girl. April, you and Peter, Kim, Leslie. I can't say names. I don't want to say names. Cam, I don't want to say names. Pete, nothing more from you. You people are amazing. But there are a lot of other people. Just nothing, ever. I will never say the names. But thank you. So we are going to be wrapping this up, the show that we do, because the last 3 months have been really hard. Maybe things get better. Maybe we try and relaunch something different. But it's also, it's hot. So the air conditioning still isn't fixed in here. So, we're going to have to do something different. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to still do content. We're not going to do a live show every day, though. I'm going to be a fucking YouTuber and Radio Misfits. We're going to create podcasts, probably focus more on Shock House, which I had so much fun last night. Look, that show's not ready. Don't listen to it and think, oh, Pugs thinks this is good. No, that show's not ready. We don't have any production. We don't have any, it's just bleh. Right now, what that show is me finding out that I really enjoy hanging out with CC and Keith. And I thought I would because I enjoyed their banter on their show. So I'm glad that's working out. We had a good time. We did a Shock House yesterday. What did Keith say? Keith said something that made me laugh. And why can't I remember it? It was a really good line. Anyway, okay. So Shock House, you can find that at, you can find it on YouTube or anywhere. I don't know where you can find it. These are all the kinds of things that I need to change about the way this show is done. It's helping nobody. All right, let's say hi to my friends in the chat room, you beautiful people who I've spent the past 4 years of my life with. Sure. When I look back, I might say that was a big fucking waste of time, but it doesn't mean that these moments weren't real. We got April. She's the best. We got KB. He's an old friend. He knows where he stands. We got Frankie. One of the sweetest individuals on the planet. We got Barney. Hold on. Let me make it bigger so I can go down. Oh, shit. Why are the chat rooms not all together? All right. Never mind. Hey, what do you say we just get started with the show? Because we don't want to get too far downfield and find ourselves doing another 3.5 hour show for $1. That's a problem. All right. Well, okay. It is Pledge Week nonetheless. So in the meantime, instead of fucking bitching like a cunt, yeah, I'm saying words like cunt and retard and fag. I don't care. I don't fucking care. Dude, if you say those things, you'll never get... Really? Because I hear people saying those things all the time and they got like 5 fucking million followers. Tired of it. I'm tired of being worried about shit. We're just going to go for it. I'm a crazy person. Maybe it's time for a fucking crazy person to just be on the air for like 20 minutes a day screaming about shit. I don't know. Hey, Goat. Goat's here. Goat's in the chat room. How you, Goat? We got Eddie Haggerty. The great fucking Eddie. That isn't the Eddie Haggerty. That's not the Eddie Haggerty. Is that T-Bolt Eddie Haggerty? That's all I need to know. A simple yes. If that's a T-Bolt Eddie Haggerty, we're doing a special show today. The Goat says, oh, stop it. No, this is not about you guys. No, it's not about that. It's just about the state of things. It's just about how, I don't know, it's just me coming to the realization that, it's hot in here. I've got that realization going. All right, let's get started. Let's have fun. Let's just do the thing that we do every day here on the show. We've been doing it since 2021, every day, Monday through Friday. Hell, I started in this town in 2001, and I've spent just about every midday with so many of you for so many years. Let's go. All right. And there's your reminder. All right, welcome in, folks. We're going to get it, trust me, we're going to get into all the Trump stuff. Also, Trump and Elon. Also, killer stuff going on in the Diddy trial today. Oh, Diddy got yelled at. Diddy got Judge Abram Subramanian, who is such a fucking cool judge. I wish this Diddy trial was televised just because I think America would fall in love with Judge Abram Subramanian. He's just been, first of all, here's a dude who likes to get home and have dinner with his wife, right? That's obvious because this dude is running the tightest trial. Now, I'm not a lawyer, so I haven't seen many trials, but I do remember, like, OJ, and I remember Depp and Amber and all that kind of stuff. And, I have checked in on other trials over there. There's a lot of nonsense that occurs. Judge Abram Subramanian is not putting up with the nonsense. So today we'll talk about Diddy a little bit too. I'll tell you why he got yelled at and what the result of that is. By the way, you can catch my show, Diddy or Didn't He? It's a daily breakdown of all the events happening inside the courtroom there in Manhattan. Diddy or Didn't He? Exclusively on Radio Misfits, radiomisfits.com. Welcome in, folks. It's the Rant, the 5th day of June, year of our Lord, 2025. June 5th is the 156th day of this year. That means only 209 more of these until, you know it, New Year's Eve. Get those New Year's Eve plans started. All right, we do the show in 4 segments. I perform it as a stream of consciousness, which is an extemporaneous rant. That's why it's called the Rant. The 4 subjects, or the 4 segments, I should say. I do it. I have these segments because my rant, I'm so weird. I'll get lost and I won't know where I am. So if, I know that there are 4 quarters to the show, I can at least go, oh, I'm in this corner. I can bullshit my way out of this problem. I know what quarter I'm in. Quarter 1 is called Antecedently on This Day. It's this day in history. I cherry pick some things of interest and we talk about them. Quarter 2 is birthdays, celebrities, notable quotables, historical figures, people of accomplishment. Do we like them or do they suck? Or we're like, yeah, fuck that guy. I ain't saying happy birthday to him. That's what we do there. Quarter 2 or 3, that's where we do deads. Same thing as quarter 2, except these people died. Again, notable quotables, historical figures, celebrities, that kind of thing. It is Eddie. It's T-Bolt Eddie. Oh my God. I just glanced at the chat room. Oh my God. What a wonderful name to see pop up. Hi, Peter. What a wonderful name to see pop up in the chat room. That is really incredible, man. Eddie Haggerty. Okay. I went to high school with Eddie. Eddie and I are a couple of Irish boys running around there on the south side of Chicago. Victor J. Andrew. Whoop, whoop. All right. All right, let's keep going. Let's see here. Deads is 3, and then quarter 4 is hot topics, current events, small talk. We're gonna break down the war. These 2 guys. We got a whole bunch of stuff. All right, what do you say we get started? Antecedently on this day is quarter 1. That's where we begin. We're gonna talk all about things that happened on this day. I'm a history buff. This is where we do the fun facts. Oh, by the way, I want to say, as a history buff, I finished Hotel Cocaine last night. Season 1, Hotel Cocaine. It's on MGM Plus. The fuck is MGM Plus, right? I don't know. It's just fucking, I saw it. Okay, so here's how I found Hotel Cocaine. Oh, and again, pedigree, because it's like, God, there's a million shows. So you got to look at who created the show and who is writing the show, right? So you look at that and you're like, well, what else did that person do? Is this a show I might be interested in? That's pedigree. When I say pedigree, it's Chris Brancato. Chris Brancato's pedigree in my world is perfect. Okay. He created Narcos. He created the whole Narcos family and universe there on Netflix, whether it's Narcos or Narcos Mexico, all that great Pablo Escobar stuff. That's him. That's Chris Brancato. He also created Godfather of Harlem, which is a tremendous series now in its 4th and final season. It's the story of Bumpy Johnson, who controlled heroin in Harlem back in the 1960s. If you saw American Gangster with Denzel Washington, Godfather of Harlem is a couple of years before that. And Frank Lucas, who we know as, Denzel from American Gangster, is a character in Godfather of Harlem. So that's Chris Brancato. So when I saw Hotel Cocaine and I saw Chris Brancato, I was like, fuck, okay, I got to check this out. So just a little tip heading into the weekend. MGM Plus is available to me. I found it on Prime. I was just scrolling around Prime, and Prime is always trying to upcharge you for shit. So I see this show, Hotel Cocaine. Sounds interesting. I look into it a little bit. It's the story of the Mutiny Club in Miami, Florida in the 1970s and 80s. The Mutiny Club was featured in Scarface. That was the club, whoop, whoop, where everybody hung out, all the coke dealers. It was neutral ground for coke dealers in the 70s and 80s. Coke dealers, DEA agents, politicians, everybody partied at the Mutiny, and there were no arrests. There was no violence. Those were the rules because everybody loved the debauchery of the Mutiny Club in Miami so much. So that's what Hotel Cocaine is about. And I finished season 1, and it is amazing. It is Chris Brancato, ladies and gentlemen. So go to Prime like I did. You'll see Hotel Cocaine. You'll see that it requires a subscription for MGM Plus, and you'll be like, fuck that. I don't even know if this show's good. Although, if you did end up having to pay like the $7 or $8 or whatever it is for a month of MGM Plus, if you did end up having to pay that and all you did was watch Hotel Cocaine, way worth it. Way worth it. I would pay if they told me that, okay, season 2 of Hotel Cocaine is now and it's episode by episode. I might not be able to binge it, but I would go as high as $100 an episode. That's how good this show was. That's how good Hotel Cocaine was. So it's on MGM Plus. You go to, I saw it on Prime. MGM Plus, you don't want to buy the subscription because Prime offers a free 7-day trial. Just click on that. Just click on the free 7-day trial. And then remember that a week later or within 6 days, you got to go back there and you got to unsubscribe. And then you get no charge. So that's what I do. I do it all the time on Prime. I join all for a week and then but that's how I ended up watching Hotel Cocaine on a platform, MGM Plus, that nobody has. Nobody watches that. So here's the problem with Hotel Cocaine season 1, which I finished last night. It's 8 episodes. Hotel Cocaine has not yet been renewed for a second season. Okay? Season 1 debuted this time last year. So now would be the time when the second season, there is no word from MGM Plus. MGM Plus, it hasn't been renewed. It hasn't been canceled. And here's the thing. I don't think anybody saw it. Because as crazy about TV as I am, as former host of the watch list and all that stuff, as crazy as I am about TV and as motivated as I am to try and tell you cool things to watch, oh, I saw this thing, I hope you like it. I have never heard of Hotel Cocaine and barely heard of MGM Plus. So anyway, there you go. I finished Hotel Cocaine last night. I'm gonna have to really look at my what is the best show of the year so far list. I'm gonna have to, because Hotel Cocaine is there. It's there. It's so good. Okay. Godfather of Harlem 2 is so good. Oh, we got 2 episodes of that. 2 episodes of Godfather of Harlem left. All right, let's get into antecedently on this day because we're not going to waste any more time with this nonsense. Let's begin. Happy birthday, Houston. It's Houston's birthday. On this day in 1837, our retarded little sister, Houston, was born. I say that as a proud citizen of Dallas. Antecedently on this day in the year 1893, the trial of Lizzie Borden for the murder of her father and stepmother begins in New Bedford, Massachusetts. You know the Lizzie Borden story. You know I rant. If you listen to this show with any regularity, throughout the years, you know I got a real problem with Lizzie Borden. I mean, not actually Lizzie. I think Lizzie's innocent. Lizzie's innocent. Lizzie was a girl with some, she was a weird girl. She's probably, let's be honest, Lizzie Borden was probably autistic back in 1885, when she was growing up. She was probably autistic. She was probably the neighborhood weird girl, and everybody's like, there's something right with that girl. You know how that was? Because before we knew about autism, we had weirdos. And that's kind of what Lizzie Borden was. And her family was slaughtered. And so, police being what policing was back in 1893, they went, everybody in the family's dead except the weirdo. And Lizzie Borden was put on trial. She didn't do it. We know who did it. I mean, history shows quite clearly who fucking killed the family. It was the uncle. Lizzie Borden's uncle, the brother of her father, was a business associate with him. Her uncle and father were very angry at each other. The uncle was trying to steal the business from the father. And the uncle stayed at the house after not having been at the house for 5 years. The uncle stayed at the house the night before the axe murder, or the night of the axe murdering. That's what it was, the night of. He was in the house. And then he left early next morning and just left town. And then, like, by noon that same day, they discovered all the bodies. And then they went, hey, let's talk to the weird girl. And the weird girl's like, my uncle did it. He just left. And they were like, nah, you're the weird girl. All right, that was on this day in 1893. The trial of Lizzie Borden begins. On this day in 1956, Elvis Presley introduces his new single, Hound Dog, on the Milton Berle Show, and it was a television moment. I know there are a couple of these television always reference, and some of them have to do with the ethnicity, right? Some of them have to do with like I'll give you an example of what I mean. So, like, white people are all like, I remember seeing the Beatles on Ed Sullivan and it was the great. But for black people, it's the Supremes. Like, I have a lot of black friends who are like, man, the Supremes, that was a moment. That's so ethnic. But Elvis, on this day in 1956, going on the Milton Berle Show. This precedes both the Beatles and the Supremes. Elvis going on the Milton Berle Show with his new song, Hound Dog. Elvis was not famous yet. He was just, one of these guys. And why is this important? Because this is where he was shaking his hips. This is where the censors were freaking out. This is where the world first came to know Elvis Presley on a big scale. And oh my God, he was doing sexy stuff. All right, so here you go. Let's watch this. We've actually got the performance. Let's check out. And here's what I would ask you to do, my fine friends. So when you listen to this, just try, if you can, just do a little mental exercise. Try to just imagine you've never seen anything like this before. And I know that's hard to do, but try to look at it from the perspective of somebody seeing this for the first time. Not somebody in 2025 who's been watching rock bands and music like that. And understanding that, Glenn Miller and his orchestra, that was 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I mean, that's what they were used to. Or crooners. Moon River. That's what they were used to. So imagine America on this night on the Milton Berle Show seeing this. Whoop.
Yes, sir. Here he is, the new singing sensation all over the country. Elvis Presley. Come on, bring on.
Also, I do want to point one thing out, okay? This is live. We take for granted now that all that stuff of the 60s was like lip synced and all that. I guess back in 1956, they hadn't really thought about the lip syncing thing. He's Elvis performing live on the Milton Berle Show.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. Well, you ain't never caught a rabbit and you ain't no friend of mine. Well, they said you was high class. Well, that was just a lie. Yeah, they said you were high class. Well, that was just a lie. Yeah, you ain't never caught a rabbit and you ain't no friend of mine. You ain't nothing but a hound dog.
Wait, is he lip syncing? Because I'm looking at it now and I'm going, he looks like he's fucking lip syncing. I'm not, and I'm listening to it and I'm like, yeah, that sounds like it could be live, but it also sounds like it could be the best quality recording they might have had in 1956. So I don't know. I was always under the impression that like lip syncing for TV didn't really start until the mid 60s. So what we're watching here is too provocative for TV in 1956. This is too dirty. This is pornography. So that's an interesting moment here when the camera suddenly switches over to the guitar player and sort of lets the lead guitar player get his moment in the sun. This is something that we'll see a lot in the future. When the guitar player does his solo, they'll show it. They'll get his little spotlight. But they ain't doing it to show the guitar player. They cut away from Elvis because of the way his hips were moving. That's the reason that the guitar player is getting a little moment. Man, I can't even tell if that guy's good. I can't even tell by 1956 standards. Is that even a good? I don't know. Is that good guitar playing? I can't tell. And I'm kind of a guitar snob, but that's more like 70s guys. This is way too early for me to really tell if this is good or not.
Well, they said you were high class. Well, that was just a lie. Yeah, they said you were high class. Well, that was just a lie. Yeah, you ain't
look at the girls. All right, I'm good. I'm good. He's fine. Elvis is fine. He's one of the most overrated performers in American history, and somehow he's been elevated to a level that he does not deserve. But he's fine. Peter says they were afraid he might whip his Elvis out. All right, let's see. What else happened on this day? Year of our Lord, 1960. Jesus. Yeah, I got to do this now. Now I got to be silly. As a proud Irishman, this is a very sad day. It was on this day in 1968, presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy is assassinated by Sirhan Sirhan. All right, I'll do the trivia question that I ask every, do people know? Who captured Sirhan Sirhan? So Sirhan Sirhan, Bobby Kennedy's on the stage there at the Hilton. Is it Hilton? I think it is. At the Hilton. And he's like, and now it's on to Chicago and let's win this thing. And that was like the last words that he said. And then Sirhan Sirhan came through the kitchen. Like he was like a busboy kind of a thing, came through the kitchen to the back of the stage and shot RF Kennedy right there on stage. Sirhan Sirhan was surrounded by people, not his people, Kennedy's people, when he shot Kennedy. So who captured Sirhan Sirhan is the question. And I've been slow rolling that, hoping someone in the chat room would get it. And congratulations, it's Frankie. That's right. Los Angeles Rams great Rosie Greer is who tackled Sirhan Sirhan and held him to the ground. Mikey D says, yeah, that's good guitar for the day. I think it was Scotty Moore, but might be wrong. Yeah, Scotty Moore. Yeah, okay. So again, I'm not a big Elvis guy, but I do know that Scotty Moore was Elvis's guitar player and that Scotty Moore is considered to be a very good guitar player. So, okay, thank you for that. Cool ass assist there from Mike D. Helping me out. That's what the chat room's for. We're all supposed to be the same. I get it. I'm the guy streaming and all that, but who am I? Honestly, you want to know who I am? I'm a motherfucker doing a show right now in his underwear. Yeah, I'm in my underwear. I ain't wearing any. Look at this. It's fucking 90 degrees in this studio, which is why I'm a little bit. And then I got these studio lights on me. Now, granted, they're turned down. So look, we're all the same. Sometimes I'm going to say dumb shit and I'm going to be wrong. And you in the chat room, you're going to help me out. Benji Clark's here. Hi, Ben. That's it. Come on, everybody say hi in the waning days. The waning days of this rant. I want everybody saying hi. Okay, see, now I have a theory. And my theory is that every single fucking one of you guys, every one of you has a baller story from your life. Here's an example of that. Look, no, not Frank. God damn it. There we go. Here's an example of that. Mikey D. Everybody's got a baller story. Look at Mikey D walking around with this little nugget in his head. Elvis was the guy that got my dad's band to relocate to Los Angeles for a while. I don't know. Contextually speaking, I have no fucking idea what that is. I don't know. Mike's dad's a musician. Okay, just learning that for the first time. Don't you want to hear the details? I do. See? Mike's got a good fucking story to tell over a beer. Tell me about your dad and Elvis. That's great. That's great. Hi, Mama B. Mama Beller's now in the chat room. You know we love Mama B. There's like 3 people in the chat room right now who I go back 40 years with. Some even longer than Mama B, even longer than that. All right. Let's see here. What else are we doing? So Robert F. Kennedy was killed on this day in 1968. Notice how I changed my tone like a douchebag. I was trying to be respectful. That's what I'm about. Antecedently on this day in the year 1981, here's a big one. On this day in 1981, the Morbidity and Mortality Weekly. It's a magazine. Oh, what? You didn't have a subscription back in 1981 to Morbidity and Mortality Weekly? All right. The Morbidity and Mortality Weekly of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Oh, it's the CDC's little magazine. So the CDC was publishing a magazine. They probably still do. Probably a webpage. Probably a YouTube channel. Probably a podcast. No, we don't do magazines no more. The Morbidity and Mortality Weekly of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reports on this day in 1981 that 5 people in Los Angeles have a rare form of pneumonia seen only in patients with weakened immune systems. I'll just cut to the chase. Happy birthday, AIDS. It's AIDS' birthday today. Today's the day that it was official within, like, scientific and medical. They were like, okay, we got something here. We got something new. AIDS, born on this day in 1981. Born on this day in 1989, Tiananmen Square, right? As I always point out, like, when we think Tiananmen Square, we think of one thing. We think of the guy standing in front of the tank, right? But Tiananmen Square throughout the history of China has been the scene of like shit tons of historic things, right? Anytime, China's been through a lot of revolutions. They all began in Tiananmen Square, all of them. That's why it's almost symbolic now at this point. So from time to time, you'll hear me say, oh, Tiananmen Square, the great uprising of 1215 occurred, or whatever. No, but today is the actual real day that we hear in this time when we think of Tiananmen Square and we think of that brave, anonymous, disappeared protester who was pushing back against communism, who was fighting for freedom, for a life. The young man, he was a young man, a young college student. When he stood there in front of the tank and the tank stopped, that's a moment. Sure, it's symbolic. Sure, he was quickly disappeared and nobody's ever heard from him again. But man, that picture of one man, it's like the Rockwell, the Norman Rockwell photo of the one man standing up. You've seen that one? The guy, he's like a working man and he's in a crowd of people and he's standing, he's the only one standing up. There's that symbolic image. And then there's this dude standing in front of the tank. No greater image ever of standing up to oppressive authority than that. At complete and total risk to your well-being, right? That's what being a patriot's about. That happened on this day in Tiananmen Square. Antecedently on this day in 2025, this is the rare occasion where we get something that we know is going to be noted as a historic day happening on the very day. So this is today. On this day, today, on today, I got to word it differently. 2025, on June the 5th of 2025, the Nintendo Switch 2 video game console is released worldwide. Hey! I don't know anything about this. We still doing video games? Is that still a thing? Yeah. I don't, honestly, I got a 16-year-old kid. He hasn't, it's been a couple of years now since he's been like, I really want the latest. Like he's not obsessive about it the way he once was. But my kid also seems to be way more interested in watching other people play video games on YouTube than actually playing video games. And I've yet to figure out what that says about him, but I am concerned. All right, that's going to do it for Antecedently on this day. Let's talk about birthdays. Let's run through a list of folks who are celebrating a birthday today, folks that deserve a shout out. And we're going to start with this one, 1868. I almost took my hat off. I was like, oh, take my hat off for this one. Born on this day in 1868, James Connolly. James Connolly, one of the leaders of the movement. A lot of people, a lot of people know Clark. A lot of people know Michael Collins. A lot of people know McDermott. There's a lot of names of our founding fathers of a free and united Ireland. But James Connolly, born on this day in 1868, is one of them. James Connolly. He's a real hero. I'll tell you, let me read some words. A little poetry, a little Irish poetry, because we like the poetry, right? I remember you back in the GPO. The GPO is the General Post Office. the General Post Office in Dublin was this massive sprawling structure, and it was the seat of British oppression. It was where all of the judges and all of that. The Irish Republican Army stormed the GPO, took it. They controlled it. They were taking back their country. And this was the Easter Rising. And they were surrounded by British military and, turned into a standoff. Just imagine it as the Alamo. It's the Irish Alamo. So when you hear the term GPO, you know that we're talking about the Irish Alamo. Okay? James Connolly's birthday. I remember you back in the GPO. Connolly and Clark, laughing with McDermott through the bullets and the sparks. Always with the smart remark, your eyes were blazing blue. But when we needed confidence, we could always turn to you. And when they shot our leaders up against Kilmainham Wall, you were there beside us in that awful Easter dawn. James Connolly, born on this day in 1868. Go ahead, you fucking lousy Brits. Call him a terrorist. Maybe he is a terrorist. If he is a terrorist, so am I. All right, let's go. There you go. James Connolly, born on this day in 1868. Born on this day in 1920. Oh, we're going to talk about this guy. This guy's fun. I like this guy. I introduced my kid to this guy. My grandpa used to tell me about this guy. And this is a guy, zero, been completely disappeared almost from the world of the NFL. I'm going to introduce you to a man born on this day in 1920, born on this day in 1920, whom both Paul Brown and Bill Belichick call the greatest football player in NFL history. Born on this day in 1920 is a guy you never heard of named Marion Motley. Marion Motley. He was a football player. The problem with Marion Motley is that he played for the Cleveland Browns, and he was absolutely dominant in his era with the Cleveland Browns, but he was replaced by Jim Brown. and Jim Brown got a little more attention than Marion Motley. Let's watch a little Marion Motley here. Let me show you who this guy is. Again, Paul Brown and Bill Belichick, arguably two of the Let me go up to where we need to go. I remember. All right, here you go. All right, let's watch this. All right, here you go. Marion Motley. Let's get to know a little bit about Marion Motley, a guy that the NFL has completely forgotten. But man, oh man, let's watch.
Like Earl Campbell in more recent times.
The atomic bomb.
Bigger than some of the guys that were playing in his day.
Motley football's version of the atomic bomb.
He was like Earl Campbell in more recent times, that he was a collision runner. He'd hit people and they'd fall off, and
He's a running back who wears 76 and is built like a defensive end.
keep going.
Big Marion Motley had a great day. He took a handoff from Otto.
He's wearing 36 here, but earlier in his career, he wore 76.
And pulled and galloped his way for 58 yards. Old Mariucci is feared, and you got the idea why when he got moving on this one.
And in his prime, boom, he had a burst to him.
Boom, boom up the middle, taking off like a GI on a...
Oh, there he is, 76. Guy's 76, running with the ball, and he didn't pick up a fumble.
3-day pass. He shows his tremendous drive.
Counting his 4 years in the old All-America Football Conference and 5 in the NFL, Marion Motley averaged 5.7 yards per carry. Still the highest career average among running backs in pro football history.
He was a great runner, but he was more than a great runner. My dad used to say that Marion was the greatest all-around player ever. He was perhaps the best pass-protecting back ever.
I would say so. He's an extra offensive left tackle that you've got back there running the ball. Marion Motley, born on this day in 1920. Never forget. Born on this day in 1956, Kenny G. Go ahead and forget. Go ahead and forget Kenny G. Look, you know what? Sure. You want it? Please. I'm going to give you 3 names here, okay? I'm going to give you 3 names. Kenny G. Kenny G, John Tesh, and Carrot Top. All right, give me these three names. Let's laugh at all of them. Let's not. They are all laughing their way to the bank, people. Laugh it up about John Tesh or Carrot Top or our birthday boy Kenny G. They're laughing right back at us. They sure are. Born on this day in 1962, the great Jeff Garlin. The great Jeff Garlin. I love Jeff Garlin. Every time Jeff Garlin comes up with a birthday or whatever, I always tell you, I'm in the can for Jeff Garlin. In the tank. I'm in the tank for Jeff Garlin. In the can. That's weird. I'm in the tank for Jeff Garlin. Jeff Garlin. Who's Jeff Garlin? Pugs. Who's Jeff Garlin? Jeff Garlin is Jeff from Curb Your Enthusiasm. He's Murray from the Goldbergs. He's the dad on the Goldbergs, and he's Larry David's best friend and agent on Curb Your Enthusiasm. He is one of the best comedic actors going. Well, actually, that's not true. I'm in the tank for him. Here's the deal. I knew him a little bit before he was big and famous, when he was just a Chicago comedian. He used to do our radio show all the time, and he used to hang out with us. And I'm just telling you, he's a fucking dude. He is an awesome, awesome man. Kind, sweet, generous to people. I mean, just a nice guy, a big heart, a wonderful soul. Jeff Garlin. Born on this day in 1962. Murray from the Goldbergs, or Jeff from Curb Your Enthusiasm. Born on this day in 1971. Here's another guy that I sometimes laugh at, and I really shouldn't, because I discovered something this morning. Happy birthday. Born on this day in 1971, Mark Wahlberg. So here's what you're wondering. What could you have possibly discovered about Mark Wahlberg this morning? Well, I clicked on his little Wikipedia page. You see a little, I'm like, Mark Wahlberg's birthday. He seems like he's a big enough star where I should have something to say about him. I was like, I probably won't be doing a Mark Wahlberg draft, which is something that we do with people who I have regard for as an actor. If I think you're a good actor or whatever, or done movies or good movies, I'll do a draft. We'll do a top 5 draft of your shit. So I looked at Mark Wahlberg, and guys, we're doing a Mark Wahlberg draft. We are doing a deserved Mark Wahlberg draft. Mark Wahlberg, I don't know why I'm sleeping on this guy. It might have something to do with the fact that I often confuse him with Matt Damon. They seem like the same guy to me. They seem like they're the exact. They're clones, Hollywood clones. They're clones of each other for sure. But both from Boston, but they're same shape, right? Like, don't you think that Mark Wahlberg and Matt Damon seem like they could wear the same pants? Like if Mark Wahlberg took his pants off and gave them to Matt Damon would be like, hey, these fit great. They just seem like they're the same guy, Wahlberg and Damon. And sometimes I confuse them. Except that I do have a different regard for Matt Damon than I do Mark Wahlberg. For some reason, in my mind, the default setting is Matt Damon makes movies I'll see, Mark Wahlberg doesn't. And that's wrong. That's totally wrong. So let's do a Mark Wahlberg draft, because I couldn't be more wrong about this guy. And that was my discovery this morning. First pick off the board. We do this like an NFL draft. All of Mark Wahlberg's films will be considered as athletes, football players coming out of college, and this is the draft. With the first pick in the Mark Wahlberg draft, I'm going Boogie Nights. I just recently rewatched Boogie Nights with my kid, or at least I watched half of it with my kid. He wasn't really into it. It's strange, but okay. It's such a good movie, Boogie Nights. Boogie Nights is number 1. Number 2 in the Mark Wahlberg draft, and I didn't even have to think too hard about it. This is a great film, Perfect Storm. Undeniable. Both of these first 2 movies, Mark Wahlberg movies, he carries them. Well, I know Perfect Storm, it's him and Clooney. But, they are big, sizable, chunky roles for him to have to come through as an actor. And both of these films, man, they're great. Number 3. Number 3 is one of my favorite sports movies of all time. And for some reason, I don't give Mark Wahlberg credit for it. Invincible. The Vince Papale story. Invincible. The story of like a working man who tried out for the Philadelphia Eagles, made the team, and went on to become a Philadelphia legend. Invincible. That's a great movie. And that's number 4. All right, so let's go through them again. First pick off the board. The first pick in the Matt Damon, the Mark Wahlberg draft is Boogie Nights. The second pick is Perfect Storm. The third pick is Invincible. Brings us to the fourth pick. Undeniable. This is undeniable. I was like 3 years late to this movie. I refused to watch this movie. This movie just looks so stupid to me. I was like, this is going to be fucking 2 hours of dick jokes. Yeah. And in 3 years, maybe, like it was well after I should have been familiar. I watched Ted. Ted is genius. Ted, the movie Ted is so funny. Oh my God, Ted. All right, Ted is number 4. Boogie Nights, Perfect Storm, Invincible, Ted. And I'm going to go rogue. We always do this with the draft, right? You're probably thinking, oh, he's going to do an Italian job, huh? Maybe Three Kings? Hey, Wahlberg was in The Departed. You going to name The Departed? No. I'm going rogue. I might even be going development. I might even be picking a player with a draft pick who I could have gotten for free as an undrafted free agent, but I don't care. Have you guys ever seen The Happening? The Happening? It's not one of Mark Wahlberg's more famous movies, but it is a movie that struck me. I watched it, and even when I was watching it, I knew that it didn't get great reviews and it wasn't a huge hit or anything, but it was a movie. It was a mainstream movie that was released in film. Some people saw it. Some people liked it, but it wasn't a buzzworthy film or anything. I don't know, man. I saw that movie, The Happening, and I was like, holy fuck, this movie's crazy cool. The Happening, the premise of The Happening was that for some reason, all over the world at the same time, people just started killing themselves. People were jumping out of windows and driving cars head on to other people. It's such a freaky movie. The Happening. All right, there you have it. That is the Mark Wahlberg draft today. He was born in 1971. It's his birthday. Good for him. All right, born on this day in 1978. Here's another one of my favorite people. This person I don't know. I've never interviewed this person or anything like that. But this is somebody who I just, as a creator, as a personality, and as a performer, as a character guy, as a comic who creates characters. He's one of the absolute best out there right now. And he's probably not at the top of like the people you would think of when you go like, oh, he's so great with character. No. But born on this day in 1978, Nick Kroll. Nick Kroll. Nick Kroll's a comic actor. Now, Nick Kroll's interesting because, I say that like everybody that gets famous in Hollywood, like they all come from either their Nepo babies in their parents either ran studios, directed films, or movie stars themselves. And that's how they get their foot in the door. Or they just come from wealthy parents who stake them and allow them to go on every audition and allow them to never miss any opportunity because they're not working a shift at the diner. They're not, driving Uber or, whatever. No, because they've got rich parents and they live in they can go out and chase their Hollywood dream while living in a $5,000 a month condo, right? That's how they do it at 19. So those are kind of like the two groups of people that populate Hollywood that I don't think we always really think about. Nick Kroll is one of them. Nick Kroll is a billionaire. Nick Kroll is a billionaire. Nick Kroll's dad, Jules Kroll, is like a globally famous security expert. And also maybe the family came from diamonds before that. Whatever. Nick Kroll, man, having a birthday today. Everything about him says I should hate him, but I'm telling you, he is so talented. So I just point those things out. Like I point out that like, oh, Nepo babies. They only got this role because he is Tom Hanks, whatever, right? So I always point those out. But remember, I'm also consistent in if you're a Nepo baby and you get a role and then you fucking kill it, it's like, so what? Okay, you got your shot and you came through. It's the ones who get the shot that, you're like, oh, really? Rain Pryor got herself a TV show. Remember when Rain Pryor was added to the cast ahead of the class because she was Richard Pryor's daughter and everybody's like, she can't act. She doesn't seem to have any kind of charisma. Anyway. So Nick Kroll, you know, he got daddy bankrolling his career so that he can do all of these really avant-garde and experimental comedy things early in his, you know, career. He gets noticed, he works at it, and he's made it. And that's okay because Nick Kroll is very talented. Here, I want to show you guys something. This is funny. Let me get rid of Mike D's thing. I'm sorry, you guys. This is why I need to pay more attention to the chat room. How the hell am I going to get rid of this now? Hold on. There it is. All right, Mike. Sorry, you've been up there way too long, my guy. I got to remind people that we have raised $30 in a week. That we need to make $250 this week to keep this show going. We've made 31. Sorry, thank you, Frank. 31, 30. Oh, something like that. I don't know. I'm not even counting. Usually I'm counting. So if you can't help out the show, it is Pledge Week. All right, there you go. Here's what I do want to show you, though. I want to show you some Nick Kroll, just because even if you don't know who he is, he's the best. This is a character that he created on a show that he did on Comedy Central. The Nick Kroll Show is a sketch comedy show. By the way, Nick Kroll had tried out for Saturday Night Live 3 times, and they were like, yeah, nah, he's not good enough. He would have been one of the biggest stars in Saturday Night if he had been given that platform. Just another example of, Lorne Michaels. Lorne Michaels needs to go. Over the past 15 years, there have been so many major comedy stars who Lorne Michaels went, nah. He doesn't know what he's looking at anymore. Instead, he's giving us Bowen Yang and forcing that fuck down our throats. That guy is the most one-dimensional Saturday Night Live performer I've ever seen. Tell me, when have you seen him with any fucking range? He is always the same character. All right, let's go. Here's Nick Kroll. This is a character of Nick Kroll's called Bobby Bottle Service. Watch this character. He created this character out of nowhere. I mean, I just love it. I've got admiration for that kind of stuff. He's so good. Here we go. A little Bobby Bottle Service here.
Okay, I'm Bobby Bottle Service, a.k.a. Bobby Bottle Service. I have a great desire to know the unknowable, to see the unseeable, to understand paralegal activity, a.k.a. ghosts. With me, as per always, is my best friend and night vision videographer, Peter Paparazzo.
Yo, I'm not particularly afraid of any specific ghost.
And our deaf mute sound guy, Gian. I mean, this kid always shows up. And together, we're very much ghost bouncers.
Ghost bouncers.
So we recently got a call from an old-timey tourist location that they had found ghosts. So we went down there to find those ghosts and bounce those ghosts out, bro.
This building dates back to the 1800s when it was originally a brothel. And in 1854, there was a massive fire here that destroyed much of the 3rd floor and the attic.
We were very much aroused to learn that this location had at one time been a brothel. Dude, this place is so old, there's no like flat screens or anything.
In 1854, there was a
is that a ghost?
No, bro, that's a very much cute, adorable elderly woman.
It's been reconstructed, and obviously we've added
What is this, Little House on the Scary?
Jen, did you get that, bro?
Original structure. Please follow me upstairs. Now, one girl did die in the fire. She was 16 years old, and as the story goes, she was on her way to turn her first trick.
So she was a whore?
She was, yes.
But in addition to as well as she was a virgin?
Yes.
Whoa. Virgin whore, bro. Perfect. Dude. Apparently, this woman was a girl who was also a virgin, but as well as a hooker who had died in a fire. Her skin bubbled.
Some people say they smell the waft of a jasmine perfume.
I've ever much put mathematics together and realized that this virgin was also in as well as the ghost.
Do you date me? Because I think I love you. Why do you look away? Why don't you smile for me?
It turned out this ghost was no demon. She was an angel.
Ghost bouncers. That is to me. Bubba Bouncers. All right, let's keep going here. Birthdays. Born on this day in 1978, Nick Kroll. He's great. Born on this day in 1979, Pete Wentz. Pete Wentz. Oh, this is interesting because I had a conversation with a friend of mine not so long. Oh, God, Jesus, I get old. It probably was a lot longer than I thought. It was probably like it was Christmas time. Jeez Louise. All right. So, born on this day in 1979, Pete Wentz, American singer, songwriter, bass player, actor, Fall Out Boy. Pete Wentz from Fall Out Boy. So, I had a conversation with a friend of mine, like I said, recently. And it just, his daughter, who's in college, his daughter who was graduating, because she actually just graduated college, I guess. She was doing something with like the brother of one of the Fall Out Boy guys. Okay, so that's what it was. Okay, so Fall Out Boy is from Chicago. They live my friends live in the same suburb where they're from, and all that stuff. So anyway, he just said, "Oh yeah, she's doing great. She's working on this and blah blah blah. She's doing this, and he's the guy from Fall Out Boy." And I was like, "Oh wow." Now Fall Out Boy is not my era. Fall Out Boy is not my generation. So he said to me, he goes, I'm not really into Fall Out Boy, but they're the biggest band that's ever come out of Chicago. And I went, get the fuck out of here. I go, what are you, nuts? And he goes, with the exception, I mean, I'm not including the band Chicago, who's got like 4 decades and sold over 100 million. And that's a special thing because they're named after the city. So the city is more, preferential to them, right? That kind of a thing. He's like, I'm not talking about Kanye West, okay? And I'm not talking about Michael Jackson, who's from Gary, Indiana, which is a suburb of Chicago. Yeah, it's a different state, but Gary, Indiana from downtown Chicago is as far as Carrollton is from downtown Dallas. So, he goes, Fall Out Boy. He goes, I think they're bigger than any band. And I go, okay, let me start thinking of these bands now. Since we've eliminated, the hip hop stuff, R&B. And I'm like, what about Earth, Wind, and Fire? And he goes, Fall Out Boy is bigger than Earth, Wind, and Fire. And I'm like, no, are they? And then I said, I go, well, they're not as big as the Pumpkins. And he goes, oh, dude, Fall Out Boy is bigger than the Pumpkins. And I'm like, what? Are they? Are they though? How many albums did Fall Out Boy have? See, I don't know. I'm in the dark. Anyway, Pete Wentz. Born on this day in 1979, Fall Out Boy. Born on this day in 1997, Sam Darnold. He's the opposite of a Fall Out Boy. We thought he was going to be an NFL Fall Out Boy, but now Sam Darnold is back. No, he's not. Yeah, he is. Wait. For a minute there, I brain farted and I went, wait a second, did I just confuse Sam Darnold and Zach Wilson? Oh, no, I didn't. Sam Darnold is back. Good for him. All right, there you go, folks. That's going to be the birthdays. Let's move into deads. These are people who died on this day. Let's decide whether or not we wish them heaven or wish them hell. That's what we do here. We stand in judgment here. All right, dead people, let's go. Oh, Peter, I was saying, I was like, has Peter been missing? Has Byron been missing? Like, who have we been missing around here? Like, it's upsetting when some of you go away, right? It's like I lose you, and some of you go away, and then, I understand why, because we have contact, and it's like, oh, I'm sorry. Peter said I had some family matters. My brother passed away at the end of April. Been laying low. Peter, I'm so sorry, man. I'm truly sorry, Pete. I didn't know. So, you'd think it'd be something that maybe why would I know? I mean, anyway, but thank you, Peter, for everything that you do for us around here. And I'm very sorry that happened to you. Okay. I mean, it happens to all of us. Everybody's, we all have to experience the death of people that, oh boy. All right. I love you, Peter. You fucking hang tight, bro. All right, let's go. Let's do the deads, right? Dead people. Let's decide where they go, heaven or hell. Dead on this day in 1993, Conway Twitty. Conway Twitty, country guy. Conway Twitty. Don't know dick about Conway Twitty, other than he was on my TV a lot. Like around about 1977 through maybe 1984, Conway Twitty was always walking around on my TV. Barbara Mandrell was always there with him. Maybe a Ronnie Millsap. They really pushed country hard in the early 80s. They really that was when the mainstreaming of country really began. Would we call that country pop? Like, is that what we would? Because I never really took to that stuff. I mean, other than the stuff that was, unavoidable in the popular culture. You know, like a Kenny Rogers, Dolly Parton crossover, right? I can get down with a little islands in the stream. But that's country pop. That's not. I mean, I like outlaw country. That's when I moved to Texas and was introduced to outlaw country, like real outlaw country, singer-songwriter outlaw country, and then Texas country. That's the stuff that I like. Pat Green and Rhett Miller are two of my favorite writers. Talk about guys that can write a lyric. That's some powerful stuff. All right, very good. Anyway, what are we talking about? Who's a Conway Twitty? I put him in heaven. You know why? Because, I don't know. Did he do anything? Is he famous for like raping and stuff like that? I don't think so. Conway Twitty seemed like a good guy. You know what Conway Twitty always reminded me of? All right, this is when I was a kid. Conway Twitty always reminded me of the father from the Brady Bunch wearing a cowboy hat. That's it. That's who Conway Twitty was to me. Hey, it's the dad from the Brady Bunch wearing a cowboy hat. I don't know why that was. All right, dead on this day in 2004, Ronald Reagan, President of the United States. Straight to hell. Straight to hell, Ronald Reagan. Okay, so now if you're like, oh, folks, oh, we love Ronald Reagan. Well, one, I don't love Ronald Reagan. Okay, I don't love any politicians. That's the rule around here when we get to the deads. All politicians go to hell. All college football coaches, especially those from the 60s, 70s, and 80s and 90s, all college football coaches go to hell. Coaches in general almost always go to hell. And what is the most important one? Actresses. All actresses, unless they can demonstrate the way an Audrey Hepburn can, unless an actress can demonstrate that they are more than the awful creation that they are, they go to hell. All right, so Reagan goes to hell. I'm sorry. Dead on this day in 2004. Dead on this day in 2018, Kate Spade. Kate Spade. Kate Spade, she made the Kate Spade handbags. Women, it's a woman's thing. Like, God, they're so nice. I don't know. Were they nice? What, didn't she also, was she a designer in general? But her handbags are famous. I don't know if she made dresses or pantsuits or whatever the fuck it is. I don't know. But I know that her purses, her handbags are famous. She killed herself. She suffered from depression. She had the whole world by the balls. She was extraordinarily successful as a designer, as an influential designer, as an important person in the New York, Manhattan scene and all that stuff. She killed herself. Depression. She was also married to the name Spade. You might be like, oh, like David Spade? Yeah, just like David Spade. She was married to David Spade's brother. Kate Spade was David Spade's sister-in-law. I'm putting her in heaven. Because I too suffer from depression, and I do not ever put somebody in hell who ended their pain, and that's what Kate Spade did. So, okay. Kate Spade, 2018. Dead. All right, guys, that's going to do it. That's it. The first three quarters. Look at us. We ripped through them. Barney, let's go to the chat room. Let's spend some time with you people, because honestly, I want to do this more in the next couple of days, because I honestly, we may not be together as a group the way we have been, as consistently as we have been. So Barney says 80s country was a weird mix of outlaw country, Nashville corporate country, and disco hangover. Yeah, it really was. I mean, because country dabbled like in disco, especially on early 80s TV. I remember Dolly Parton doing like a Disco Inferno. Remember that song? Burn, baby, burn. Like, I remember her on, I don't know, hell, it could have been like the Shields and Yarnell show. It's just some weird variety show doing like disco. And I'm like, okay. But Dolly, I know Dolly was different. Dolly is a goddess of country. But let's not kid ourselves. I mean, in the world of country, is Dolly the same as Loretta Lynn, or are there people, because Dolly's more pop, right? Dolly's Taylor Swift. That's when I see Dolly. I'm like, Dolly's Taylor Swift. Dolly's country the way Taylor Swift is country, meaning it's in their blood and it's in their bones and it's who they are at their core, but they have gone elsewhere. 80s, early 80s country. I'm trying to think of what comes to mind when I think of like country songs from the early 80s that crossed over and made it to me in the south side of Chicago, a town at the time that didn't even have a country station. Chicago didn't get a country station until US 99 came along. And that came along in like the mid to late 80s. US 99. And then they fucking dominated the ratings. For like generations, US 99 dominated the ratings. And we're like, well, it's because it's the only country station for like 500 miles. I mean, they got no competition. Everybody who likes country is listening to that station. So yeah, they're dominating. Meanwhile, over here on the rock side, we got like 6 rock stations cannibalizing each other. So yeah, US 99 is getting better ratings than the station that we're on. But our station's better. Thank you. Thank you, Barney. What else do we have here? Peter knows music. I like talking music with Peter. Peter says Dolly put out that awful Rick album a couple of years ago. Stick to country, Dolly. No, not stick to country. First of all, Peter, God love you. Dolly does whatever the fuck Dolly wants. That's what we do with, 4 years now you've been hearing me. She's the patron saint of decency here in America. So I will not take any Dolly Parton slander. But I would also disagree. Stick to country. Working 9 to 5. When has she done? What is country about Dolly? So. Rock album. He says she did a rock album. So yeah, when she got nominated, when they wanted to put her in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and because she's the baller of all ballers, she said, yo, that is so sweet, and I'm so flattered that you want me in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but I don't consider myself a rock and roll artist. Now I have to think that there is somebody who does consider themselves a rock and roll artist who is not being allowed in because y'all want me there. So I'm just going to take a step back, and why don't you go nominate somebody? That's who fucking Dolly Parton is. That's who she is. So, Peter, I'm sorry. She wants to make a rock album to celebrate the fact that they wanted to induct her. Let her do it. Let her do it. She's Dolly. Peter says, I love Dolly, but that album sucked. Yeah, I don't know, brother. I can't speak to that. I didn't hear the album. Look, I'm a fan of Dolly Parton, the spirit. Okay? Dolly Parton, the spirit, man. I will pray at the altar of Dolly Parton, the spirit. Dolly Parton, the musical artist. I got to be honest, I'm not all that familiar. I know the hits. I don't go deep in the Dolly Parton catalog. I wouldn't be opposed to it. It's just, it's just never been my thing. But again, the spirit of Dolly Parton is what I'm all about. All right, let me get a drink here because I'm starting to lose mine. Guys, you know what's funny? This has been, I got very little sleep last night. So this might be very stressful. Pledge weeks are always stressful, and this pledge week is an absolute unmitigated disaster. So, but I've kind of like, I'm in a good mood. I'm in a weird mood. And I don't know if it's because I didn't get a lot of sleep and this is adrenaline, or if I just got past all the stress of the week. And now I'm just resigned to, whatever. We move forward, right? But I'm in a good mood. And the reason I said that is because I just looked at the clock and it's already 3:38. And I'm like, fuck, I haven't even gotten into the things I want to talk about today. So let's go. I don't care. You tip the show $1. I'll give you 5 fucking hours today because this is a love of the game kind of thing. All right, let's go. Oh, you know what I haven't been doing, you guys? All right, so chat room. This is where I'm going to use the chat room. All right, I need the chat room to help me right now because I've just been talking about stupid shit for the last hour and a half, and I've gotten a little bit away from what's going on between Elon and Trump. Has anything happened since Elon? We talked about this at the start of the show. Elon Musk, minutes before I signed on, Elon Musk just dropped a bomb of a tweet. For those of you playing catch up here, earlier this morning, while meeting with the German Chancellor, President Trump started riffing, the way he does in front of, the photographers are taking questions. He's riffing. He's showing off. He's showing off for the German guys. Like, hey, what do you see how I handle these jackals? And so he's riffing. And, of course, questions are about what has been going on the last couple of days between him and Elon Musk, which has been a, a little bit of the tense back and forth. Elon Musk does not like the big, beautiful bill because it hurts him. That's the only reason. The whole reason that Elon Musk is off the Trump train is because now it's hurting him. I don't like this. This ain't good for me. So that's why he's off. That's who he is. And he doesn't give a fuck. Oh, you found out? I didn't have to find out because I've always pegged Elon Musk for that. Well, you're just finding out now? After being like, I want to buy a Cybertruck. After being like that for now you're finding out that Elon Musk is a self-centered piece of shit who doesn't give a crap about anybody else in the world because he doesn't have to. Because everybody that he meets kisses his ass. This guy, he's broken, he's damaged. A lot of people are, but he is to a much higher degree. Worse than Elvis. They say about Elvis. Elvis went nuts because he couldn't go out in public. Elon Musk has the whole world by the balls. Nobody tells him nothing. And again, one of the things, I bet Elon Musk thinks he's funny. I bet Elon Musk thinks he's really funny. He's absolutely not. But and I'm not talking about on stage with prepared remarks. I'm talking about when Elon Musk is in a boardroom. I imagine when he thinks he's got something funny to say, he says it, and then everybody fucking goes, oh my God, Elon, oh my God. So Elon walks around thinking he's funny because he's got nothing but supplicants. Just, you're the best, Elon. You're the greatest, Elon. My point is this. That's gonna fuck you up, okay? And it's been like that with him for 20 years. So when I've been telling you for the last couple of years that this is a fucking not someone you should be like, yeah, I love him. No, it's because of all of this. And now we're starting to see it. Now we're starting to see Elon Musk be who he was all along. He didn't give a fuck about MAGA. You think Elon Musk cares about a bunch of 60-year-old people from Alabama standing in a field? He's shaking his feet. You think he fucking cares? You people are vermin to him. And you're like, oh no, I'm going to defend Elon. So Elon's breaking bad with MAGA. So yes, I am talking like somebody who is trying to gin you MAGA types up to at least break ranks with fucking Elon. Okay, that's job one. Just recognize that Elon ain't one of you. Maybe maybe some of you are serious. I'll tell you, and I don't want to say any names here. But I have a very smart friend who does radio in this town. I have a very smart friend who does radio in this town. Who most people would think is, on that, far right kind of thing. And, whatever Trump wants. This person is fucking insane over this budget, this Trump budget. This person who I think is smart and who follows these kinds of things is this is the most fucking liberal, left-wing, bloated, over-the-top special interest budget in history. And Trump is forcing it through. And there's a lot of people, there's Rand Paul. Rand Paul is a great example of somebody who I don't agree with on very many things, but then again, if we're being honest, I don't agree with any of these people on shit. It's not like I disagree with Rand Paul, but caucus with AOC. No, they're all fucking in it for something other than what they're telling us. But yeah, so this is a really crazy, super not conservative in any way. And Elon is freaking out over it. And unfortunately, it's got to get passed through by what are they saying? July? By 4th of July, right? He wants it before 4th of July, before his big his multi-million-dollar rocket parade. He wants to have the big, beautiful bill pushed through so that all of his friends and, can make money and get all that pork. So anyway, that's what this fight is about. This fight is about the big, beautiful bill, and it's been building for a couple of days. Elon 2 days ago said that it's a bad bill and blah, blah, blah. And it escalated this morning when President Trump was in the Oval Office with the German chancellor, started taking questions. The subject of Elon came up, and Trump basically, he said that Elon suffers from Trump derangement syndrome. All of the attacks that MAGA instinctively and reflexively really just throws at anybody who breaks ranks. If you have an independent thought different than what Trump wants you to think, you suffer from Trump derangement syndrome. And I think that was the charge that Trump threw at Elon Musk from the Oval Office today that caused Elon Musk to kind of lose his shit a little bit. And just before we signed on today, Elon Musk tweeted this. I'll show it to you again. Time to drop. Oh, here. probably should show it to you. Why not, if we're going to do it this way? Elon Musk tweeted, boom, there we go. Time to drop the really big bomb. At real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT. Have a nice day, Donald. Hey, Donald, I'm fucking telling the world what we all know. I'm telling the world not only what we all know, but also kind of giving a little bit of shine to why you got fucking Pam Biondi as the Attorney General, Kash Patel as the head of the FBI, and Don Bongino as the assistant. He's telling on him. He's saying, you've protected yourself from all this. You're not going to let it come out. He's running around, he's campaigning, release the list. They won't do it because who was it? Clinton's on, whatever it was. That's projection. Just another example of him projecting. Whatever it is that he's doing, he is going to say somebody else is doing. Because if he's so upset that somebody else is doing it, there's no way you would think he's doing it. That's what projection is. And that's what Trump does all the time. It's all he does. And you people are like, I don't know what projection is. What is he doing? He's telling me the truth. Why can't you see it? Why can't you fucking buying bridges in Brooklyn? Why can't you fuckers see it? Anyway, it's all coming to a head. Because Trump's also got to be a little bit concerned because Trump really likes that he's friends with Elon Musk. Trump is a star fucker of the highest order. And Elon Musk was like, my cool friend, the richest guy in the world. That meant something to him. As long as Elon is his buddy, he's got a fucking bank. You don't have to worry about Chase Manhattan calling it a loan. The wealthiest man in the world is his friend. $267 billion and growing. So the fact that that guy's now his enemy, that's got to be, Trump's got to be like, Time to drop the really big bomb. At real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files, and that's the reason they have not been made public. Okay, so obviously, that is something that I have wholeheartedly believed this entire time. It's why I think he was killed. But you people refuse to connect those dots, which is interesting because you people will connect the most fucked up dots on everything else, but not Trump to Epstein. Not Trump lives here at Mar-a-Lago. Epstein lives here. Why? Because it was more convenient to all the time that he was spending at Mar-a-Lago. That's why Epstein bought a mansion in that neighborhood right next to Mar-a-Lago, because Epstein was spending all of his days hanging out with Donald. Now, this is not to say that Donald is a pedophile. That is not what I'm saying. I don't know. I know that Epstein was. But you can't tell me that, Donald Trump didn't know that his super billionaire friend, Jeffrey Epstein, who he's such good friends with, doesn't like him a little young. At some point, I promise you, probably back in 1991 or something, there was a group of rich guys and they're at a party. We've seen pictures from the party. The party where Epstein and Trump are there and Trump's like, oh, he's doing the dancing and they're pointing at girls and Epstein's like, yeah, she's pretty hot. We've all seen that video. That's a real video. They were buddies. So in that video, it's like, Epstein walks away and, Trump's the kind of guy who probably leaned into the next guy. I don't know, Warren Buffett or whoever the fuck else was there. And he's like, hey, Jeff likes him a little young. I'm sure that happened. Can't tell me that President Trump did not know that his very good friend, Jeffrey Epstein, liked fucking underage girls. So that's another thing. And again, it's not guilt by association. It's not Trump flew on the plane, so he therefore also has sex with 12-year-olds. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that Trump is a guy who is comfortable in the orbit of a known pedophile. You're okay with that. He's a Christian, right? He goes, he's never been to church. You have never seen this fucking president go to church. Not a one goddamn time. You have never seen him go to church. And yet somehow all you Christians are like, he's a Jesus man. He's brought down by... I'm just tired of us getting worked. I'm tired of us being fooled. I am tired of seeing so many of my friends not see it. Well, we're starting to see it today. We are beginning to see it today. The cracks in the armor. MAGA is falling apart. Two foundational figures are at each other's throats, and not in a playful way. Let me tell you why I know it's not a playful way, because that tweet that we just showed from Elon Musk, where he said, time to drop the big bombs. That means it's over. There is no coming back from that. Elon Musk, with the greatest amplification device ever known to man, his own platform, Twitter, he can make sure that all billion people on Twitter see that if he wants to. I know I saw it. I don't even follow Elon Musk. And I saw it immediately. When I fucking hit Twitter just before we were going to sign on, Elon Musk accusing the president of being in cahoots with Jeffrey Epstein was at the top of my page. It was the first thing I saw. Everybody on Twitter saw it. They're not coming back from it. They're not going to fix it. Elon Musk has just gone scorched earth. You know why? Because Elon Musk has fuck you money. Elon Musk is not afraid of the president of the United States. And that should concern all of us, because there is no single individual in this world who, based upon nothing more than their accumulation of wealth, should feel like they have nothing to fear, least of all the government of the United States. So you know what? Here we go. Barney follows all this stuff. Let's see what Barney has to say. Yeah, come on, guys. I want to do some chat room stuff on this. I'd love to hear what you guys are saying. All right, here we go. Barney says, Elon knows we can get to Mars without a superpower. With a healthy economy, everything he does is about going to Mars. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to agree. I'm like, because I'm like, oh, how do I push back on Barney on this? But I think Barney's right. I think I now, you know, what are his motivations for going to Mars? I think that he wants to achieve deity status, and that's part of him wanting to be, you know, the guy who claims another planet. I think that's part of it, and that's pretty upsetting. But no, the nuts and bolts of what you said are absolutely right, and I think that that is the motivation. This is because of what he sees being a negative effect upon not only his electric car business, but I don't think he's even really that interested in it. What he sees in this big, beautiful bill and all that stuff is maybe a problem for his space exploration pursuits. So yeah, I agree with you there, Barney. Barney's right. N.O. says the Taco Supreme wouldn't have gotten elected without President Musk. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, you know, the anti-MAGA people out there, and again, I know it sounds like I'm anti-MAGA, but I'm not anti-MAGA. What I will do is I will amplify things that I think are funny, but you don't see me posting on Twitter all that much. Sometimes my goat will be gotten and I'll feel compelled to say something. Oh, hold on, wait a second. Where did I lose? There we go. Did we take it off? Oh no, that's the same one with that. Hold on. Yeah, there it is. I'm sorry. No, I didn't mean to take you off. Here's what I would push back on. You know, you're a little bit more truly anti-Trump, right? Taco Supreme and all that. I'm not like, if I'm being honest, I think he's fucking hysterical. And if we had an independent Congress, you know, if we had two functioning houses, I would maybe even be okay with President Trump, because I think the presidency is nothing more than a figurehead at this point, you know, but it's not a figurehead when you control, you know, the House and the Senate and the judiciary, you know, you're not a figurehead then. But if we could keep him as like a figurehead, like if we could keep him like maybe with a split Congress, that'd be fun. I think it'd be fun. You know, in the beginning in 2016, I was appalled. In 2016, I was appalled at the idea that this is the man who represents the United States, the epitome of what I'd always considered the ugly American, the arrogant, brash, not too smart, not even articulate, really. Like, that's always what I thought Trump was, you know, big con man, P.T. Barnum kind of a thing. So in 2016, when he became president, that fucking really upset me, because I'm like, really? We're the fucking country of Abe Lincoln and Teddy Roosevelt. And now we got this guy, this fucking game show host. Okay. But I got over that. And nowadays, you know, I didn't vote for him in 2020, but again, you know, I didn't vote for anybody. I probably would have voted for Biden. If Biden was still there, I probably would have voted for old brain dead Joe, but instead we got Trump, which is fine. Again, like I said, it's fine. Which is something that people who are not okay typically say. It's fine. Everything is fine. Byron says, I have always seen Elon's opportunity to become a real-life super villain. Yeah, I'm glad to hear it. Glad to hear it, Byron, because he's a super villain, man. He's retarded. He's not okay. Excuse me. He's special needs. That's all. He's, you know. Oh, but Byron, because Byron here, Byron, who's been one of the most important people around these parts the last couple of years, is here every day. Byron is real MAGA. Byron likes Donald, right? Byron's one of my friends who I'm like, what the fuck, man? You know, I'm not taking you with me to buy a car. You're going to be no help. Just kidding, Byron. But Byron, do you believe this? Do you believe that Musk is telling the truth? Is he saying the quiet part out loud, that the whole reason we don't have the Epstein tapes or the Epstein list is because Trump is on the list? Because that's what I've always believed. I've been like, geez, here we go. I mean, remember when they promised to release them and then they released a bunch of fake ones to a bunch of MAGA influencers and they had a big press conference where they're like, we've released them. And then everybody in the country went, we're not that stupid. You really think we're stupid? And that didn't work. So then Pam Biondi, she said, well, we're going to get to the bottom of this and we'll get it for you in a month. And then that didn't work. Because remember, everything is 2 weeks to a month away. Everything with these people is, yes, that's very important. And, you know, you'll be interested to know that in about 2 weeks, we're going to be making a big announcement on it. They say that all the time to survive the moment. That's a salesman's trick. So that's what they've been doing with the whole list. Pam Biondi. Then Pam Biondi gets shit on because they didn't realize that when you say something like, in a month, we're going to release the real list. When you say something like that and the list is about Epstein, we don't forget. We're not forgetting Epstein, Pam. I'm sorry, baby. We're not forgetting Epstein. So I know that works with other things like, you know, what do they call Infrastructure Week? Oh, we'll have an announcement on that in 2 weeks. Media bill. We got a new bill. We'll have an announcement on that in 2 weeks. The Epstein list ain't the same thing, baby. We want to see these motherfuckers. We want to see these powerful people who have been pulling the strings for the past half century. We want to see their names in association with child rape. We do. We want to know what we're dealing with here. So, Pam, fuck you, okay? Fuck you and your 1 month and all that shit. Okay, so what happened was a month came and went, and people were like, hey, Pam, hey, Attorney General Biondi, and she started taking all kinds of heat. People were calling for her to step down. Now you got Alina Habba in the U.S. Attorney's Office there in New Jersey making moves. Alina Habba wants to be the new Attorney General. And if something happens with Pam Biondi, Trump's going to take Alina Habba and he's going to make her the Attorney General of the United States. Yeah, we're going to have Alina Habba as Attorney General of the United States. So anyway, Pam Biondi's feeling the heat, man. And so she gets on the phone as Attorney General and she calls her little bitches who are Kash Patel and Dan Bongino. And yeah, don't get it twisted. The FBI are working for Pam. Okay. Pam's the Attorney General. The FBI are working for her. So she gets on the phone with Don Bongino or whatever his name is and Kash Patel. And she says, look, motherfuckers, I can't slow this train down anymore. As the Attorney General, I am passing the Epstein hot potato back to you guys. And those two guys, a couple of weeks ago, did a joint press conference on Fox News. They were doing Pam's bidding. And what did they tell us? What did those two fuckers try to sell us after all this time? After a man got elected president demanding that the list be released, what did the men doing that man's bidding say 2 weeks ago? There's nothing to see here. We've looked into it. We're honest guys. Come on. I know Frank Smith thinks Cash Patel is honest. I've seen Frank fucking post shit about what a great guy. I love you, Frank, but come on, man. No. So that whole thing that we remember from Fox News where Cash Patel and Dan Bongino did a joint appearance where they both took the blame. That's why they did it together. Together, we're both taking this. Maybe we can both weather it better than just one. That's what that was. It was actually probably Pam Biondi telling Cash Patel, director of the FBI, to get your fucking ass out there on TV. And it was probably Cash Patel who said, Dan, you're coming with me. But that's what that was. And we know it was a lie. Remember how mad we all were? It doesn't matter. Libtard, right, MAGA, centrist like me. It didn't matter. When we heard that from those two guys, we were all pissed off for the same reason. Because in that moment, we as a country were united in our ability to smell bullshit. So that would be my question to Byron. Byron, do you think that Elon Musk is telling the truth? Because I'm telling you, the rest of us do. Or are you still a little delusional in this whole thing where you think that Trump is a good man? He's not a good man. He might be the good man for the job. And I've got a friend who is a big Trump guy, and he'll tell you flat out. He's like, no, Trump's fucking, you should probably end up in prison when this is all over, but we need somebody to wreck shop right now. And there are a lot of people who feel that way, and I kind of understand that Trump, don't get it twisted. I don't think Trump's a good man. I think he's a complete scumbag, but for some reason he's electable and he's going to do a shitty job and he's going to upend this entire thing. And I've been wanting to burn it down for decades now. So this is why I am backing Trump. Burn it down. If that's what it is, I get that. But you don't think he's a good man, like a good man. Come on. This guy cheats on all of his wives. All right. Anyway, so what is happening? What is happening since then? Let's delve in. Let's see what the response has been. Oh, Jeff, let's get Jeff. Jeff says, Pugs, you already got the talk show experience down. Go be a mall cop for a couple of years and you can become the number 2 at the FBI. Yeah. Now, in fairness, and this needs to be said because you can't take people's accomplishments away from them. Dan Bongino was a Secret Service agent. Dan Bongino made it to the Secret Service of the United States. And no matter what you think of Dan Bongino, that's not something a loser can accomplish. Okay? Dan Bongino obviously has something going on. Something, or at some point in his life, he was competent. He was probably good. He was probably smart. Dummies do not get to be Secret Service agents. So all of these things that I say about Dan Bongino, it's just because I think that he's been a rat traitor to this country over the past few years. It's not because I think that he's undeserving. I don't know that he is qualified to be the second in command at the FBI. As a matter of fact, I would probably go out on a limb and say, no, he ain't fucking qualified at all. But I don't think he's complete. He's not like our education lady. He's not like her. She's not like wrestler mama. What's her name? Linda McMahon. She's in charge of education. Oh, Jesus. Did you see her yesterday? We're not talking about that. That is not what this fucking show is for. We are not talking about that. Stay on point, Pugs. All right, what's the latest? Donald Trump, the easiest way to save money. Elon Musk, in live president's statement about cancellation of my government contract, SpaceX will begin decommissioning its Dragon spacecraft immediately. Holy fuck! I gotta play catch up. What is going on? What is going on? All of these things are breaking right now. Has Trump canceled all the space? Oh, so it's not that important for us. So it's not that important for us to go to. I thought it was important for us to go to Mars, President Trump. So you are using things that will benefit humanity, things that you think are just great. But I'll tell you, him and all of that Mars stuff, that's great. He's got to get that done. So all the times that you said that, President Trump, now you're just canceling that. Now you're saying that that's not going to be a great thing for humanity. You're being punitive. You're being personally punitive because he fucking said something mean. Guys, this is who we have here. This is called lack of integrity from top to bottom. This is a person who doesn't give a fuck about us. He's canceling all of the space stuff that was supposed to benefit humanity that he was all fine with when Elon was sucking his dick. He's now throwing all that away, guys. That's a complete lack of integrity. I don't think people know what integrity is. That's the problem. I don't think people know what integrity is or principles. I have destroyed my life over fucking principles. Kelly and I walked out of the best fucking job of our lives, making more money than we ever deserved to make. We walked out of it on principle. If I'm being honest, we also thought we had a better job waiting for us. And we did for a period of time. But no, man, I mean, that response from the president of the United States. Oh, Elon said something mean to me. Well, I'm canceling the government contract. What was that? Just a personal little deal between you and him? Is that how you saw it, Mr. President? That wasn't on behalf of the American people? All that money, all those government contracts that were given to SpaceX? That was just a personal favor that you were doing for one of your buddies who said nice fucking things about you? When are you people going to wise up? All of these people need to be rounded up. And I don't know, maybe Sam Altman's got some fucking presidential chat GTP whatever that we can just move right into the White House and let that fucking thing call the shots. Because I'm about to just be a burn it down guy. Thank you, Jeff. We are having fun today, though, right? Look at me. I'm getting all worked up. It's like 90 degrees. This is like one of those Indian sweat lodges in here. Fucking going for it. Give me some psilocybin. Give me some mushrooms. I need something. Keep this going. President Trump says call with China's Z was very good. Oh, yeah. That's the other thing that I just love. I'd love. Would you love to hear like a transcript or read a transcript of President Trump's call with President Xi today? Because his call with Xi in China is happening when all of this Elon Musk stuff is happening. And we know for a fact that Trump can't concentrate. Trump's got like one thing on his mind right now, and it's Musk. So I'm certain that the entire conversation with the leader of China was about Elon Musk. Jesus. Oh my God. All right, let's see. Al is checking in. Al in the chat room. Al says, on SpaceX, you have to keep trying and trying until you finally make it. The Wright brothers made a lot of mistakes, but they finally got it. Yeah, now, Al, I don't know if you've been following me. I mean, I've been following the progress of the Falcon because that's an incredibly important part of everything that comes next. If we do not build a dependable rocket that can effectively produce the kind of power that we need to do what has to be done, then I don't give a shit if we've completed the housing for Mars. It doesn't matter. We can't get there. If we can't get there, none of this shit works. So the Falcon is the most important thing. The Falcon, and the Falcon, if you've been following me, the Falcon is not working. I myself, somebody who is a great believer in the Mars missions, I myself, I'm not a rocket scientist, but I'm like, is there any other ideas? I mean, is it maybe time to move away from the idea of the Falcon being the thing? Is there something else maybe? I don't know. SpaceX shit is really important. Maybe not. It is just important. Peter in the chat room. This is old school rant now. Keep going. Okay, yes, it is. It's an old school sweat lodge rant. Barney says, Bongino has a very successful Secret Service career on both the protection detail and as a lead fraud investigator. Yeah, I mean, he did things. You can't take that away from him. I mean, just because he reveals himself to be a duplicitous snake who doesn't have the best interest of America or American citizens at heart, that doesn't mean that he didn't do the shit that's on the first couple of rows of his resume. He did all those things. He needs credit for it. No, says like two little girls fighting on the school playground, as if most of us knew this wasn't coming. Yeah, we all knew this was coming. That's what I love. We all knew this is coming. I've been saying for 10 years that Trump is Mr. Loyalty when we all know he is the most disloyal person ever. The minute anybody breaks ranks, they are gone forever and dead. That's not loyalty. And then he demands one-sided loyalty from everybody. Don't ever disagree with him. And so many of you are okay with that, which is what I don't get. All right, let me quickly, I want to see where would be the best place to go to see if we can get neck deep in this fucking Twitter war, because let's see. Elon? All right, maybe we'll just go to Elon, right? We'll go to Elon on Twitter. Okay. Let's just see what Elon's been saying. Oh, that's what I'll do. All right, well, so we'll just go because this is all we care about. Let's just read what Elon's been saying, and then we'll read what Trump's been saying. Okay. All right, here we go. All right. Most recent. Oh, okay. 3 hours ago, he's pinning this. All right, he is going hard. Elon Musk says, is it time to create a new political party in America that actually represents the 80% in the middle? You motherfucker! That is my bit! That is my bit, you motherfucker! 80% in the middle. What is he doing? 3 hours ago, he posted that. How long has that been my metric? Although he's wrong. It's 15 and 15. It's 70% in the middle. It's not. Look, if Elon Musk is truly interested, if Elon Musk is truly interested in bankrolling a new third party that is truly a party of the people, for the people, by the people, then, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce myself as a candidate from Congress from North Texas. Hi. Yeah. I'll fucking get in there. I can do a congressman's job. Are you kidding me? I can eat steaks with lobbyists. That's easy. I can even do something that Margaret, what's her name? Marjorie Taylor Greene can't do. I can actually read the bills. Did you see her do that? See Marjorie Taylor Greene, one of our representative, one of our representatives there from Georgia. It's not mine. We don't have to worry about her. She's fucking Georgia's problem, but she voted and campaigned and for this for the bill, and then she didn't read the bill. And there's like a whole big chunk inside this bill that she voted for that completely upends like her primary thing, like her big issue is completely fucked over by the bill that we need to sign it. Yeah. And so now she's out there going, oh, I didn't read it. I'm so sorry. Y'all, you got to read these things. Did you see her stand up in front of the rest of Congress and say, y'all, you got to read these things? The United States Congress. Oh, yeah. All right. So Elon Musk says right here, he's got it pinned. You just put this up here 3 hours ago. Says, is it time to create a new political party in America that actually represents the 70% in the middle? I'm going to stay with my metric. 70% in the middle. I'm going to click yes. 81% to 18. There you go. Fucking kill them all. And by kill, I mean fire them. I certainly don't mean killing them. Although I got to be honest, if somebody like came in and was like, all right, I'm taking over. I'm thinking about building camps and rounding all these people up. Pugs, how do you feel about that? I'd be like, let's talk about it. Let's, what does that look like exactly? See, that's where I am right now. No love. All right, let's see what Elon's been doing. All right, he shared something 27 minutes ago. Elon shared Trump partying with Epstein.
A resort as a club shows the future of a Mar-a-Lago party, shows Trump giving Epstein his personal attention.
How old is this kid? How old is this 15-year-old at the party with Jeff Epstein? This doesn't even look like him. This like, that's not him. That's a doppelganger. Back in 1992, they knew that they were going to need a doppelganger?
The footage, shot in November of 1992, before Trump opened the resort as a club, shows the future president surrounded by...
Just see him slap that little girl on the... Look, I got no problem with any of this. You know I got no problem. As long as everybody's cool with it. You know, an old rich guy partying with young hot chicks, everybody's getting something out of it. The old rich guy is feeling youthful and he's feeling like he's fun. And who doesn't like being around a pretty young girl? And by young, I mean obviously over 25. That's my limit. To even look at naked. I don't even want to look at anybody under 25 naked. Anyway, moving on. But look at what he does. Look at how he grabs this little blunt. Like, again, I don't have a problem with it. But I do have a problem with this guy being the new Lord and Savior of incredibly religious and conservative people who think that, oh, this isn't real, or what? I don't know what they think. They don't have a problem with it. Anyway, look at him. Look at the way he handles this.
By cheerleaders.
Look at her. He banged her. He totally banged her. And I'll show you another one.
For the Buffalo.
Look at this one. This green one right here. Look at the hand. Look at the presidential hand. Look what's going on there. No, all of those women are lying. He never touched anyone. He never got handsy with a woman when he shouldn't have. No, they're all lying. Now, I don't think that they're really necessarily as traumatized as they might be saying, but I don't think they're lying. Like, he did it. Come on. Here we go.
Club.
Look at that. Look at that. He's getting. She's like, what? She's into it because it's Trump. 92 Trump, man. Chicks would fuck 92 Trump. Trump in 92. This has got to be what? Right after he left Ivanka, right? Right after she hit 40 and he decided he needed to get younger at the position. Right? Isn't that right about what's going on?
Shows the future president surrounded by cheerleaders for the Buffalo Bills and Miami Dolphins, capturing Trump's fun-loving bachelor lifestyle for an appearance on Faith Daniels' NBC talk show.
We're going to get great ratings in your show.
Trump is surrounded by women as music blares in the background. After a while, Trump goes to greet 3 new guests, among them the financier Jeffrey Epstein.
Hey, okay, this is weird, right? Okay, first of all, who's fucking Stretch Armstrong? Who's this guy? This guy's like 7 foot tall. Who's the 7 foot tall? Look at how, did you guys realize that Jeffrey Epstein was so tiny? He's like a little Jewish guy. I know a lot of little Jewish guys. I didn't think Jeffrey Epstein was a little Jewish guy. You know why? Because he's got midget head. Yeah, Jeffrey Epstein's got midget head. Midget head is a phenomena where if you just look at a midget from like the neck up, you're like, oh, that guy looks totally normal sized. Although sometimes midgets have, a midget look. But he's got midget head. He's got a head that when you see Jeffrey Epstein, like, and I guess never really seen him standing up like this next to other people. When you see Jeffrey Epstein, usually it's like from the chest up, like it's a picture of him from here. And, everything looks proportioned. And then you see him and you're like, holy fuck. Jeffrey Epstein is tiny. Who's this chick? Wonder who this chick is. Wouldn't you like to have a conversation with this chick today? What were you doing with these two guys? What's going on with your past?
More than a decade before his guilty plea on state prostitution charges. Later in the footage, Trump is seen his guilty plea, the financier Jeffrey Epstein. More than a decade before his guilty plea on state prostitution charges. Later in the footage, Trump is seen talking to Epstein and another man as women are dancing in front of them. Trump alternates between dancing and...
The white man overbite. He's so fucking cringe. He was always cheesy. He was never cool. I don't understand. Look at this guy. Oh my God.
Pointing out women to Epstein and the other man and telling Epstein about the cameras. Though exactly what they say is difficult to understand as they discuss the women and their appearances, Trump gestures to one and appears to say to Epstein, "Look at her back there. She's hot." And then Trump says something else into Epstein's ear that makes him double over with laughter. But as the president said...
Is that it? That's it? All right, hold on. Got so many things going on here. I got too many windows open. I'm doing things behind the scenes. All right, there you go. Also, fuck. I can't get rid of No's comment. No's comment has been up there forever. There you go. Is that Barron's real dad? That was a thinker. That's fucking great, Barney. It's funny. I was thinking, I'm like, well, no, like Barron's a Trump. Barron is totally, and then I got it because Barron's like 18 feet tall. All right, so that was the most recent tweet from Elon Musk. The most recent tweet from Elon Musk was him running back video of Donald Trump partying with his good friend Jeffrey Epstein. And I think that everybody who doesn't watch News Nation or Fox News has seen that video for years. We're like, they were obviously good friends. So maybe if you're a news watcher of Fox, Newsmax, or whatever, one of those crazy, actually News Nation I name checked. I kind of like News Nation. News Nation I have not made a final decision on, but I kind of like it. All right, let's see. Most recent Donald Trump. Oh, really? Do I got to follow this guy? Oh. Is that how it works? Do you have to follow a guy in order to get their tweets? All right, look at me following Trump. All right, I just followed him. All right, what do I get? Do I get his to follow? All right, what does Donald Trump have pinned? May 27th. That's not from today. Show more. Come on, what the hell? Why can't I find? All right. Okay, Donald Trump. There we go. Show more. No, I don't want to fucking be enticed to follow Jim Jordan. I want who to follow? How? Hold on, guys. All right, Donald J. Trump. I'm on the Trump page. I'm following fucking Trump. Did Elon Musk kick Trump off Twitter? What is happening with Trump's Twitter page in this war with Elon Musk? I hadn't even thought of that until right now. Oh my God. All right, well, let's get off of this one. We don't need to be jerking around with some guy who's not even cool enough to be allowed on Twitter. All right, let's see. Let's go back to Elon. Let's see what Elon is tweeting. The last tweet from Elon was the Jeffrey Epstein tape. All right, so 56 minutes ago, Elon tweeted, the Trump tariffs will cause a recession in the second half of this year. That is in response. Elon is responding to somebody who tweeted, can I finally say that Trump's tariffs are super stupid? So that's somebody, can I finally say that Trump's tariffs are stupid? Like, why would you now feel like you can say that safely? Because your leader, Elon, has now broken bad? What kind of a fucking cuck was that? Did you see this? Look at this guy. Can I finally say that Trump's tariffs are super stupid? Because I wouldn't have said that because I'm not a man of my own mind. I have to be told I'm allowed to say things. What fucking country do you people live in? All right, what's this? This is 59 minutes ago. Elon posted this off Rumble, which buckle up, folks. Rumble is nuts.
And
here we go.
There was a story that I read about him that really affected me, which was when he was talking to Bill Gates. And Bill Gates had just taken out some huge short on Tesla. It was like $1 billion short or something. And, and Elon was like, why would you do that? Why would you short Tesla? And Bill goes, well, I talked to my financial advisors and I looked at the math and there's no way it's overvalued and so I'm going to make money on the short. And Elon goes, what do you care about making money? I thought you were into electric cars and climate change and saving the world. What are you doing, like trying to save a few bucks and betting against? And he just walked away in disgust. And I think he never talked to Bill Gates after that. And that's when I realized, like, Elon's a purist. He means what he says. Like, the money is a tool for him to get what he.
All right, I don't need Elon doing some brand purification here. All right, let's see what else we got. All right, we're cruising Elon Musk's Twitter page right now to see what kind of shit he's saying about the president of the United States. All right, what is this? This is from who? A.G. Hamilton. Who is A.G. Hamilton? Let's see who this is. Is this somebody I should know? Oh, it's a goofy is that a goofy Alexander Hamilton kind of tribute thing? I don't know. Anyway, this person tweeted, or I should say Elon Musk responded. A.G. Hamilton tweeted, the relationship between Trump and Epstein is well established. Trump flew on Epstein's plane at least 7 times, though it's not clear he ever went to the island. Here is what Trump said about Epstein in a 2002 New York Magazine profile. Oh, we've never seen this before. Where's this coming from? Is this all the stuff that Elon scooped up from Donald so that we keep it hidden from us? Are we about this? Are we gonna see the Russian prostitute tape? Are we gonna see Donald Trump engaging in golden showers like we've been promised since 2016? Let's go, Elon! Let's go, Elon! If they arrest Elon Musk, if Elon Musk is arrested, what would you do? Isn't that an interesting thing? Let's play this out over the next couple hours. If Elon Musk is arrested by ICE, wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be funny? A war, a street war. I'm taking Elon because I read an article about a month ago about Elon's private security, and he's got an army. Elon's got an army of high paid. They all make $1 million a year. He's got an army of Mossad agents who fucking are everywhere where he is. Elon Musk can walk around almost anywhere and you don't see him. Sometimes he's got 2 body men with him, but a lot of times you see him where it's like, he doesn't seem to have anybody around him. He's got people around him. Everywhere he goes, he has snipers. That's who Elon Musk is. So, wouldn't that be fun? We game this out a couple hours from now. We hear 7:00, Anderson Cooper signs on, or I don't know, Jesse Waters is on the air. I don't know who the fuck is on the air at that time, but they're on the air. And all of a sudden they're like, breaking news. A gun battle has erupted on the streets of San Francisco as security forces of Elon Musk is taking on the ICE agents who have come to deport him. I mean, that would be way off the table. Like, how far is this going to go? What does Trump have? Because this, Elon Musk coming out, spending all day convincing people that Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein are tied together and that Trump is tied in with pedophilia. You don't come back from that. And this is another example of how Elon Musk is somewhere at the apex of the fucking spectrum. Because I don't know that Elon Musk necessarily knows that you can't say something like this to another human being, make it public, and then come back from it. But a person with autism might not kind of, be like, they're a little socially awkward. They might know. They're like, what? I just said it. I died. What? It's over. Like, does Elon Musk even know? So, okay, so that's bad. Elon Musk is calling the president of the United States a pedophile, essentially. So what does the president of the United States have to retaliate with? Well, he seems to have canceled the SpaceX contracts. So, sorry, humanity. Sorry, humanity. Trump's mad. Trump's mad, so fuck it. So what does he have? Well, he's got what every strongman dictator has. He's got a police force. So I'm just wondering, all of you MAGA people, if the reaction to this, if in some weird way, Elon Musk is kicked out of the country or detained or something like that, what will you think of Trump? Will you think it's justified? Because somebody broke bad at him on a social media network, you think it's justified that a president can use his power? Well, then you're not an American. You want a king. You do. You're okay with that. As long as, you're on the side of the king for the moment. Another king comes in and, oh, fuck that. Let's go back to being America. It's difficult. We must have consistency. It's the way people like me, and I don't know, there's a lot of people like me, but it's like you've been listening to me every day since the election. I'm like, we lost. We got a guy who I think sucks. We lost. Let's give him a chance. It's fucking America. I believe in democracy. Let's go. Let's roll. See, that's who I have demonstrated I am. Who are you? If Elon Musk is arrested today by the president of the United States because Elon Musk is talking shit on a social media network, who are you? Are you an American? Or are you now at this stage of your life and having seen what Trump has to offer, are you now going, fuck Jefferson, Fuck the founding fathers. Fuck the... Who are you? It's you MAGA Kool-Aid drinkers with your red hats and your banners who are being tested today. It's not just about whose side you're going to be on, the rich guy with all the money. Rich guy with all the money. It's a bit repetitive, but or your cult leader. Which one are you going to follow? This is wild. Epstein. All right, so here's what Trump said about Epstein in a 2002 New York Magazine profile as presented by Elon Musk on his platform Twitter today. It says Epstein likes to tell people, this is Trump. This is Trump speaking. Epstein likes to tell people that he's a loner, a man who's never touched alcohol or drugs, and one whose nightlife is far from energetic. And yet, if you talk to Donald Trump, a different Epstein emerges. I've known Jeff for 15 years. All right, here's the president of the United States talking about his good friend, Jeff Epstein. I've known Jeff for 15 years. Terrific guy. Trump booms from a speakerphone. He's a lot of fun to be with. It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. No doubt about it. Jeffrey enjoys his social life. Trump said in 2002. You fucking MAGA people who are all down your QAnon holes about Jeffrey Epstein, you have been ignoring this the entire time. And now somebody who you were also drinking the Kool-Aid from up until about 5 hours ago is telling you you've all been lied to. That Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein were buddies. But no, the pictures, they were fake pictures, fake news, fake 2002 New York magazine, fake news. It's stuff you don't want to hear, so it's fake. Fucking idiots. And I love you. I love my people. I do. I love all my people. I love Americans. We're great people. We are really great fucking people, man. And I don't know, is this just because, somebody else might be like, well, that's just because you're a middle-aged white man. Well, I don't know, maybe. I feel like I can go anywhere in this country and we can strike up a conversation. We can have a few laughs. You know why? Because the conversations that I strike up with strangers aren't the kind of shit that's going to lead to arguments. Try to bring fun, try to bring cool. And you know what? Everywhere I go, every people that I meet, I'm met with the same kind of energy most of the time, I walk in, my son marvels at how I get to know every 7-Eleven clerk that I've ever done business with. They're have a little conversation with them. My son's like, why do you do that? I go, we're having a moment. Live in the moment. This is what life is about. I don't know how to explain it to them, but that's what it is. So I know we are good people. I know it. Some of us are assholes. But we see that. I know we're good people. All right, let's go back to Elon Musk. Let's go back to seeing what he's getting into. What are the latest? Oh, did I just lose Elon's page? Let's go back to Elon's page. See if he's tweeted anything since. Hey, I wonder if we ask Grok. If we ask Grok, is Donald Trump a pedophile? Let's see what Grok says. Hold on. Let me ask Grok. At Grok, is Donald Trump a good person? That's it. Now let's just go basic. I mean, look, you can get real specific with Grok. But let's just get basic. Let's see. All right. Let me see. Where do I go to? How does that work? Wait, did I do Grok wrong? See, this is one of the downsides of being a middle-aged white man. I thought Grok responds instantly. Haven't I done this before when Grok responds instantly? All right, we're not going to worry about it. We're going to go back to Elon Musk and we're going to check out his page, see if there's anything. All right, so we've got that, the New York Times or the New York Magazine. All right, here we go. All right, what is this? All right, this is from okay, guys, be careful here because this is now Elon responding to Ian Miles Cheong, who is an agent of the Chinese state. I mean, it's been proven. And, he is a disinformation agent. And you guys are like, no, I like him because he says stuff I like and want to believe. So here's Elon Musk amplifying a well-known Chinese disinformation agent. All right, so Ian Miles Chung says, President versus Elon, who wins? My money's on Elon. Trump should be impeached and J.D. Vance should replace him. The people who choose Elon, we will begin to see, because they were all one group. But the like cat turd, if cat turd suddenly breaks for Elon, right? Well, you know, Elon's been paying these people to put out all of this bullshit, all of this. Ian Miles Chung asks, who wins? My money's on Elon. Trump should be impeached and J.D. Vance should replace him. Oh, God, help us. All right. Oh, God. President fucking meth head. That'll be good. Oh, J.D. Vance. Elon Musk responds to Ian Miles Chung, his query of who would win, Trump or Elon. He says yes. Elon says yes, I would. All right, let's see what else do we have here. What else is Elon doing on Twitter? Elon responded to somebody named Adrian Dittman, who posted, the world's greatest fiction writers couldn't have conceived of a timeline like this. To which Elon Musk responded 100%. Donald Trump posted about an hour ago. The easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised that Biden didn't do it. Listen to that from the President of the United States speaking about a guy who last week he was celebrating in the Oval Office and trying to convince all of us, oh, he did a magnificent job. Do you remember yesterday when I told you that, that was done by design? The White House threw that party for Elon because they think Elon's a hand grenade. They threw that party for Elon after Elon did nothing but bring all kinds of problems for them from the media. Now, I'm not commenting on Doge. I'm not saying what he did. I don't know, good or bad. Fucking numbers and math and accounting. I don't know. I don't understand the budget. It's big, it's bloated, and neither do you. And just because Jesse Waters tells you to think a certain way doesn't mean that you know what the fuck you're talking about. So none of us do. But just on Friday, he was the greatest thing going. He did a magnificent job. And it's because they were afraid of this. They were afraid of Elon breaking bad. Well, the genie's out of the bottle. He is broken bad. They've broken bad on each other. And now here we are. Remember at the party, greatest guy, doing great things, going to Mars. Oh, so important, everything. Here's today. Biden should have kicked him out. I never understood why Biden didn't cancel all of the... Dude, you've been president for 4 months. You had no intention. You don't think Biden should have gotten rid of the subsidies for SpaceX? You don't believe that. You're saying that because you're a fucking emotional infant who's the most powerful man in the world, and that's a real fucking problem for all of us. You're not cool, Trump. You're not John fucking Wayne, and that's what we need. Not that John Wayne's cool, but you know what I mean? All right, so in light of that, in light of Donald Trump's threat about it, Elon Musk retweets it and says, in light of the president's statement about cancellation of my government contracts, SpaceX will begin decommissioning its Dragon spacecraft immediately. We don't have any rockets anymore, guys. The United States of America's got a bum rides from the fucking Saudis. They got a rocket now. Yeah, Saudis got a rocket. They don't really have a program to speak of, but they got a rocket. We don't have rockets anymore. Hey, you know what? Maybe this is a good opportunity for NASA. I'm a NASA guy. I believe that it should have always been in the hands of the state. I believe that the state and the government can do these kinds of things without lining their pockets or trying to achieve any kind of individual immortality for somebody like Musk. No, I believe that a government should be involved in these kinds of existential pursuits. This is not a business. This is not the government running gasoline stations, right? No, this is about something for humanity. That a country like the United States, who is obviously the most important nation in the world and a superpower, we should be leading the charge on. So yeah, I mean, I do think that NASA, look, I begrudgingly went with privatized space because space needed to progress. And it became clear that we were not going to get funding at NASA the way we wanted, but private rich guys could. So I kind of went, okay, it is more important for us to pursue space than it is for me to get bogged down in whether or not it should be a government agency or just a rich guy who wants to get famous for going to Mars. I don't care. I became okay with that. But now, okay, let's go back. Let's go back to NASA. Look, if Trump wants to respond by an executive order giving NASA all kinds of a budget, I'll be like, yeah, all right. These two fucking clowns fighting it out might actually lead to something positive. All right. Let's see here. What else? President Trump. All right, so Elon Musk shared a clip of President Trump. Let's watch.
Saving America.
People, we're lucky to have, I have to tell you, I want to thank you all. And Elon, I want to thank you. I know you've been through a lot with this horrible situation that happens.
That's right. Saving America.
It's very unfair. What he is a patriot. Here's a man that I can tell you, he's a friend of mine. He's become a friend of mine. He supported me in the election. That's when I got to know him. Really, I knew him a little bit from.
And that's why he's his friend. This man is entirely transactional. That's not a leader.
The first term, but not much. But he's a patriot more than anything else. He's never, think of it, he has never asked me for a thing. He could have. I always say, I wonder if he's ever going to ask me for something. And that's always subject to change.
He asked you to fucking change the budget. He asked you for a thing, and now we're here, dude.
Change, and if it does change, I'll let you know about it. But Elon has never asked me for a thing. I mean, I got rid of the electric car mandate. I have no idea how that affects him, but possibly not good. I don't know. But he's never asked me for a thing. And I think that's an amazing tribute. I did get activated last week when I saw what they were doing. I said, he makes an incredible product, and we're going to go out and tell people you can't do that stuff and support him. They got to support him, because if he wasn't doing this, he wouldn't have any of these difficulties. And I think it's getting less and less. Pam has done a great job with regard to all of the, I mean, I know the kind of investigations that are going on. If she finds them, which she will.
She will find them, and then she will sweep them under the rug if my name appears in any of these investigations.
She already found 4 of them. But I think they're going to suffer very grave.
All right. You know what? I can't. Yes. Hold on. All right. We don't know that. We don't need that. All right. One more. Let's go back on Elon's page one more time. Let's see if there's anything new, and then we'll move on. These two guys are fighting it out. Let's see here. In light of the president's statement about canceling. Okay, so that's where we left off. That's where we left. There we are. All right, hold on. Let's see. All right. Some space nerds are now talking about, oh, what does this mean when you just cancel things like that? All right, so Eric Berger, a sci guy space, he's a space nerd. Berger says this would both end the International Space Station and simultaneously provide no way to safely deorbit it. That's where we are. We got people up there that we'll get down. They'll have to hitch a ride on like a Russian rocket or something like that. So all of a sudden now the American people up there are being really nice to their fucking, neighbors, their Russian neighbors and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, that's fucking done. So there's people up there that got to come home, got to figure out a schedule. And it's not like Russia can just launch a rocket anytime they want. I don't know. Let's see here. All right, here's another. Is this another one? Are we on that page? Yeah. All right, so I'll read you this one because I don't know how easy it is for you to read it. Autism Capital. I don't know what that is. Autism Capital says Trump fires back at Elon. Here's a quote from Elon, or a quote from Donald. He says on Twitter, or no, I think this is his own thing. Are these tweets or are these from his pretend made up social media network that you guys all jerk off in your bubble in? It's just like a weird fucking cult bubble. I think it is. All right. So Donald Trump said Elon was, quote, wearing thin. I asked him to leave. You threw a big fucking party for him on Friday, and you said that Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars. Hey, remember when you did the Tesla commercial in the driveway? When you fucking lowered yourself as the president of the United States and became a fucking local TV car salesman? You embarrassing piece of shit. Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted. And he just went crazy. Elon responds to that. Elon responds to Trump's claim there as he says, such an obvious lie. So sad. So sad. He's got to stop doing that. So sad. Was popularized by Trump. That's a Trumpism. So sad. Trump does that to drive home that the lie he just told about somebody isn't out of spite or anger. It's out of his compassion for his fellow man. It's sad. Such a manipulative salesman. And you all just bought it. And it was all the people who always buy it. It was the South. Fucking hillbillies in Alabama, Georgia, glug, 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 glug. Not the first time a fast-talking smoothie from New York came down, told you a bunch of fucking lies, and you people believed it. Stop it, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, fucking Florida. All of you embarrassing fucking people. Again, a smooth-talking New York shyster came down, sold you a bill of fucking goods, and one more time, you bought it. You bought the snake oil. This is what we're getting into today. Look at me going nuts. 2.5 hours into this fucking show. Wheels are off, baby. Wheels are fucking off. I'm liking it. All right, there we go. Let's end it. I'm exhausted. All right, thank you. I'm exhausted. It's 90 degrees in here. I'm sweating like a pig, and that's the one and only story that we're going to do today. That's it. That's it. Today was the fucking Trump versus Elon show. Oh, and it's going to get better tonight. It's going to get better. It's going to get more interesting. It's going to be so much fun. You know what I should, because, you know, I want to do this. I want to make sure I do this because I don't want to, you know, me just extemporaneously ranting and calling Trump a fuck and like calling people from Mississippi. I shouldn't be allowed to just say that. So let's go to the chat room. Let's see if anybody wants to push back on that because you're allowed to push back. Because honestly, hold on. What happened to my thing? Enter full screen? No, I don't want to enter full screen. I think I did something weird to my screen here. Hide chat overlay? I don't want to hide the chat. There we go. Now we're back. Look at me. I figured it out. All right, let me go through here. Let me see what some of you people are saying because you do have a right to push back on me. Because, you know, when I get worked up, I start being mean to people, and I was just really mean to a lot of people in the South. Notice I didn't mention Texas. I don't consider us a part of that nonsense, and I never have. And I've always been upset when people in Texas like want to rally behind the South. The Texas that I know is not the South. Texas is the fucking West, okay? And that's a whole nother fucking mindset. Seriously, when I moved down here, like I moved down here from the Midwest. I'd never been to Texas before. Not true. I'd been to Lubbock, and I'd been to Dallas briefly. But I mean, I didn't have any understanding of Texas. So as somebody who lived somewhere else, who knew what Texas was their whole life, I never thought of Texas as being like Mississippi. I never thought of Texas as being like Alabama. People in America don't think of Texas that way. People in America think of Texas as cowboys and the range and Indians and That's the West. Why the fuck wouldn't we Texans embrace that? That's the badass thing. But no, instead you're going to hold on to the Civil War, slavery, cotton. What is wrong with us? Texas is the coolest state in America because of all of that shit. We're the only state in America that has absolutely everything. Except lakes. We don't really have lakes. We have fake lakes. We don't have real lakes. But we got mountains. We got deserts. We got beaches, valleys, forests. We ain't Mississippi. We ain't. So when I go off on those fucking jugheads, and you know who they are, if you're being honest with yourself, you know you're nothing. We're nothing like them as Texans. Whatever. All right, Al. Let's start with Al. Donald Underwood will figure out some kind of plot where the Chinese are going to get rid of them. I don't know. That's out of context, I think. Barney says, I'm not completely sure that Adrian isn't Elon himself, and he might be right. He might be right. Elon, look, I went to Twitter because, well, I don't know how much play this story is getting over on, Threads or wherever else I might go. Blue Sky, for that matter. So I use Twitter, and that is Elon's platform. And I do know, or at least have been under the belief for the past few years since Elon took it over, that Twitter is just filled with bots controlled by Elon. Think of him as drones. He's got a drone army of millions of fucking fake people who will amplify whatever message that he wants to get out on his platform. So Barney, yeah, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it one bit. Anything on Twitter that seems like it's playing organically in Elon's favor must be questioned. Must be questioned. Because it's Twitter. Let's see. Hugh says, hi, Hugh. My old friend Hugh's in the chat room. SpaceX just posted 3 hours ago that Dragon was getting ready to launch this week. Well, Elon says that's not happening. Al says, I was going to say good things about him because he doesn't want to be the main suspect on what's about to happen. I don't know what that... Al, I'm sorry. I'm out of context. You got to do things. Oh, thank you, no. Yeah, this is American now, Goat. It's been trending this way for quite some time, but now it is nothing but a reality show playing out on social media. That is what we have become. That is what we are. You understand. Remember all of that? Remember the stuff MAGA is so proud of during the election? Remember all the other countries are laughing at us. Nobody respects Biden. Nobody respected Obama. Nobody Trump. Only people respect Trump. All right. I mean, I know that well, you play it's political propaganda during the campaign season. I get it. It's nonsense. But a lot of you seemed like you really believed it. Like a lot of you thought that the rest of the world really liked Trump. And you bought into it. They don't. They all fucking hate him. He's a pariah. He has made us a pariah state. But okay, we'll keep going. Let's see here. Jeff says it's common knowledge. Is it? It's common belief that Adrian is Elon's sock puppet. I don't know who Adrian is. I'm sorry. I'm not in that world. I have no fucking idea who Adrian is. But yeah, probably. Yeah, America's a joke today. We're enjoying this because, I don't know how else to fucking, honestly, between not having between this show making, like $30 this week to America today in this moment being an absolute laughing stock. In all of us, me included, just sitting here with the popcorn going, burn, baby, burn. It's fun. It's fun. It's fun. It's fun. Sure, let's just keep going with it's fun. Let's just keep going with that. Jeff says, Jeff's complaining about YouTube censors, effing YouTube censors. What are they doing? What's going on with YouTube censors? What are they doing? They don't. Hey, why did the chat just come back? The chat just came. Why did the chat was gone and now the chat's back? Byron says you have TDS. He says I have Trump derangement syndrome. Yeah, proudly since 1992. He's been a fucking obvious douchebag. Yeah, okay, but at least it's mild. It's not mild. It's. He says flares up every now and then. Put the chat back up. Yeah, I didn't do anything with the chat, dude. Sorry, Byron. I didn't do anything. I saw something weird was happening. That's why I was struggling. I'm like, what is happening? That it must have been a restream thing. Did they redo something with their thing? So, okay, let's talk about Trump derangement syndrome and what someone who says or uses Trump derangement syndrome, what they're really saying about yourself. So, Byron, be prepared because reflection coming at you. When somebody uses a made-up term like Trump derangement syndrome and then, uses it against anybody who can see what is obviously a fucking con man, you're really telling on yourself, man. You're telling me you can't see it. You're telling me that you've probably made some bad business deals or whatever. And this is insane because Byron's a poker player, and I understand him to be a pretty good poker player. So poker players should be able to spot a con. But the refuge for these people who refuse to spot it, can't spot it, or just, they spot it, or maybe they're just like, burn it all down and he's our guy. Those are the people who say that other people who are like, he's not a good human. Those are the people who say that we have Trump derangement syndrome, a completely made up thing. No, we just don't like the guy. You know what else I got? I got Jeffrey Dahmer derangement syndrome. I got John Wayne Gacy derangement syndrome. I got fucking Bowen Yang derangement syndrome. You can't just say that when you hate someone, when you obviously think that somebody is terrible and doing bad things, that they are somehow in the throes of a mental disorder. That's so disingenuous. And it's an easy out for you because you now don't have to continue the conversation. You can just dismiss the opposition as being mentally unstable, which suggests that you yourself are mentally unstable or at the very least incapable of linear thought. All right. What else do we have? Let's go. Chat room's back up. So if you guys want to keep going, we can keep going. This will be fun. I don't care. It's hot. It's so hot. Byron, he's obviously a con. I remember the 90s too. This is why I love Byron. See, this is why I love my MAGA people. Because he's willing to say that. He's willing to say that he's a con. Even though it means that I think less of Byron because he's willing to vote for a con artist for president. But man, the fact that you can see it. Okay, so I can see it too. So it's not Trump derangement syndrome. I just, for some reason, and I might be wrong and you might be right, I, for some reason, think the president of the United States ought to be somebody who isn't an obvious con. That's the only difference between us. If we can both agree that the guy's fucking shady as shit, then that's where we are. And I don't have Trump derangement syndrome, and it's not a thing. I mean, look, the crazy liberals who are already crazy, we already know they're crazy. The fucking blue hairs and fucking bones through their nose, and they're like, he's destroying America. Oh, fucking shut up and sit down, okay? You've been marginalized for a reason because you walk around like a weirdo and you scare people, especially children, so shut up. So those people say they have Trump derangement syndrome. Well, okay, but they've got something else. But just like normal people who are just like, fuck, why is this guy getting away with that? That's what it is. It's why is he getting away with everything? Why? Why is our system, the entire thing that this country was built on, why is it just a premise? That's what we're all learning. It's just a premise. Constitution is just a premise. And I said the other day, I'm from the 80s. I grew up in a world where you can't lie to the FBI. You can call before Congress. You can't lie before Congress. That's the America that I grew up on. Now, I know that one could lie to the FBI, and I know that one probably might want to lie to Congress. But I was raised in a country where that was like where the line is. It's like, all right, fuck, you're sitting down with the FBI. All right, it's time to fucking talk. That's why you don't want to sit down with the FBI. But now we live in a world where the FBI lies. Maybe they always did. I'm not a great champion of Herbert Hoover in what the FBI has been over the years. But I can definitely tell you that it's in its worst state ever right now. I mean, it's the worst that it's ever been. It's a private security agency at this point, the FBI. I don't know. It's funny, though, watching these two guys go at it. Goat is chiming in. Goat says Pugs as a veteran who fought for this country. This is just sad, and it saddens me that people don't see it. That's been a lot of this process for me. Like I can tell you that I think Trump is funny. And if all of this horribly divisive stuff hadn't occurred, Trump would be a guy who I, as like an interviewer, would love to talk to. I'd go and have a drink with him. I'd love to fucking party with Donald Trump, right? I always thought he was a bit of a douchebag, but it seems like kind of fun, kind of harmless. That was always my thing. He's a dick. He's a douchebag. But you know what? He's also kind of funny. He was hysterical on The Apprentice. He was hysterical. That's why he's president. He's president because he was good on a TV show. Sad. I don't know that sad is the feeling. I keep going back to it's not about Trump. You know, it's almost like the way I feel about the Chicago Cubs and the Grateful Dead. The way I feel about Trump is exactly the way I feel about the Chicago Cubs and the Grateful Dead. I don't hate the Chicago Cubs really as a brand. They represent my city. I don't hate the Chicago Cubs as a brand. I just hate their fans. That's why I don't like Cub fans. Fuck the Cubs. I don't hate the Grateful Dead. Some of their songs, I'm like, this is pretty good. I fucking hate Deadheads. Fucking hate them. I lived in Tinley Park, Illinois. I lived in a town that hosted the Dead every year. Oh, and that Caravan Carnival would come into my hometown. Fucking there'd be nothing on the shelves at the 7-Eleven for weeks. What the fuck? These people cleaned us out. So I don't hate the Grateful Dead. I don't like their fans. That's where I've become with MAGA and Donald Trump. At this point, I don't hate Donald. But I think his followers are really sad. I think it's really sad at this point. I mean, it really is. Like, at what point are you going to be like, he is not doing anything that is good for this country and maybe I was wrong? Unless you're someone who still wants everything to be burnt down and for us to start over. That's a very real path that a lot of people now on this day might want to come out and start saying, hey, just for the record, I never liked Trump, but let's fucking clean slate this whole bitch. You know? I mean, if that's your position, that's a position I can understand. But can we please just stop acting like he's a good president? Can we stop acting like that? Can we stop acting like he knows what he's doing? He doesn't. He's controlled by a bunch of money people. He surrounds himself with some people who know what they're doing, but they're bad people. A bunch of TV show hosts he's got in super important positions. A bunch of media people. I work in media. We can't do these things. We're performers. We're characters, okay? We don't have any real substance to us. Fucking Pete Hegseth is the defense chief. Oh, my God. This has been a day, guys. This has been a hell of a day. Jeff says, problem is only cons and crooks are dumb enough to run for that job. Jeff, nah. Problem is us. Problem ain't them. Stop it. Let's stop acting like it's the people that we, the people, elect who are the problem. We, the people, elect them. We, the people, must at some point take responsibility for our inability to judge good people to represent us. And I say it always comes down to this. It always comes down to this. Everybody hates everybody in Congress. Congress has like what? A 7% approval rating, and that's static. That's not like it's just 7%. No, it's been like that since 1980, where nobody approves of Congress collectively. But everybody loves their congressman. Oh, my guy. My guy? Oh no, it's your guy. You need to not vote for your guy. Your guy's what? My guy. We could just have my guy. My guy, I met him at a pancake breakfast. Oh my God, I brought my kid. He tousled little Jimmy's hair. He's got my vote forever. He's my congressman because I know him. That's the fucking problem, people. We all know they all suck, except for the people that we vote for become the team we root for. So he's our guy. You vote for a mayor in your town, and the mayor fucking obviously sucks, but he's a guy that you like. You're going to go down with that fucking ship because he's your guy. That's what we do. That's the problem with our political system. It's always everybody else's representative who's fucking it up. Not my guy, though. My guy's great. Congressmen get reelected time after time after time. You know how rare it is for a sitting congressman to lose his seat? Because we reelect them. Because again, our guy good, everybody else is fucking it up. It's your guy. It's your congressman who is screwing it, not mine. So this idea that we only elect them, well, we elect them. We elect them. Sorry, I didn't mean to not. Al says good ethical people are no longer able to make it to the top. Only the malevolent are able to claw their way to the top. Ethical people never qualify. That's probably true. That's why we get Matt Gaetz. Because who we get, you have to look at Congress, not the Congress as a whole, the lower house. The House of Representatives. You have to look at congressmen as entry-level politics. They're also probably the most important. They're where the rubber hits the road. So it's entry-level, and right off the bat, they're being given some of the most important decisions to make our laws and decide how we're governed. That's the House of Representatives. But unfortunately, because of the way we live in this country now, and it is entry level, you don't run for the Senate or president right away. You get your feet wet in Congress first. Then maybe after a couple of years, the Senate, or maybe you go to state politics, become governor. Governor is a launching pad to president. Congressman traditionally isn't. Congressman is you can raise money and run as president, but you're not going to win. You're just going to bank all that. So congressmen are entry level, and that's why you get guys like Matt Gaetz, because that's where people like Daddy Gaetz, Matt Gaetz' highly corrupt and super wealthy Florida father, that's where he pushes his little fucking dirtbag kids into the mix. And they got all the money in the system, right? Matt Gaetz' father controlled politics in that part of Florida. And so he made his son congressman. And what did Matt Gaetz do in Congress? I don't know. A whole bunch of you thought he was awesome, but he was a fucking moron. He had to, the guy that he carried water for won re-election. Everybody in Trump's wake, everybody in his wake got good jobs. Fox TV people are running the Pentagon. Everybody got good jobs. What happened to Matt Gaetz? He got jettisoned. That's how fucking bad he was. He was so obviously bad that even the Trump people were like, we can't defend this anymore. This fucking guy. So that's what we get in Congress. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Who's, y'all, she's able to whip up about 1,500 people in her district, and now she's a fucking congresswoman. You guys, it's us. It's us. Who are the good ones out there? I don't know. I've met one politician. And by the way, don't just meet a politician once. You can't say what I'm about to say after meeting a guy once. You have to know. You have to watch them. You have to be familiar with them. All of that stuff. I've met one politician who I went, that motherfucker is Jimmy Stewart. That motherfucker is Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. That motherfucker is legit. That's a statesman. That's a leader. That's an honest politician. Got to spend a little time with him. He was a regular on a late night talk show that I used to do in Chicago. He was a senator from Illinois. He used to come in the middle of the night. He's like 70 years old. He'd come in, he'd sit down, and he'd talk to my host. Senator, can I get you another cup of coffee? And then you just talk my ear off. Like a little 22-year-old sitting there talking to Paul Simon. Paul Simon was the greatest politician that I ever laid eyes on. That fucking guy, that was salt of the earth. Central Illinois farmer whose father started a local paper like back in the 1930s. They became the publishers of the Central Illinois Gazette or whatever. Paul Simon was legit. Paul Simon would have been a great leader for this country. Paul Simon was ugly as fuck. People called him Pee Wee Herman. I don't know if you remember Paul Simon. Paul Simon ran for president. Paul Simon, a lot of people were like, Paul Simon should be president. Paul Simon is a fucking really good man. He's not divisive. He's a Democrat, but he's a rural farmer Democrat from the Midwest. I mean, he'd have been president. If he looked like Bill Clinton or if he looked like Al Gore. And yeah, people thought those people were sexy. That's why I say women. I know my partner Kelly thought Bill Clinton was really sexy. And I'm like, what the fuck? Paul Simon wasn't sexy. So, I mean, that's the only in my life. And I've been in media since Groundhog's Day, 1992. And in my life, I've only met one politician that I've observed and that I've spent time with and that I've spoken to and listened to him answer really difficult questions from a really good interviewer. By the way, the host of the show that Paul Simon used to come on was a guy by the name of Eddie Schwartz, Chicago Eddie Schwartz. And I have never worked with someone who could interview the way Eddie Schwartz could. He was tremendous, especially with political people and stuff like that. Yeah, Barney says Paul Simon rocked that bow tie. Yeah, he was a dork. He was a dork. He dressed, you know what he looked like? He looked like the fucking preacher that went door to door in Poltergeist. And that's not good. It's not good to run for president. He kind of looked like Pee Wee Herman with the bow tie and like the little pinstripe suit. And he looked like he was wearing, the only suit he has. And he's going to church suit. Those were all things that should have resonated with a good nation of people. But instead we went, ha, he looks funny. What did he say? Was that important? I don't know. He's funny looking. I don't want to fuck him. I can't vote for him. I'm an American. I only want to vote for presidents that I want to fuck or have a beer with. That's who we are. So I don't know, man. I don't know anybody that's out there. There are a couple of people. There are a couple of names that I could drop on you right now that are on the national scene that I would say these are interesting people, but I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to go on record with 18 of my friends having said this until I'm sure. But there are a couple. The idea that we can just dismiss our fate as a nation because there are no good politicians. Oh, they're all crooked. Stop it. Stop with the cynicism. This is America. We're the greatest people the good Lord has ever put on this spinning blue marble. Let's act like it. With that said, Paul Simon being the only one who I can conclusively say would have had my vote, I would have campaigned for him. That's a lie. That's such a lie. You know how I know it's a lie? Because when he was doing our show was when he was running for president and I wasn't campaigning for him. So, and you would think I would have an inroad there to get involved with the campaign since, I was the producer of a show that he did media on regularly. What's going on now? We got some, Hugh is saying Steve Bannon is calling for Trump to investigate Musk's immigration status. Here we go. Yeah, that's totally, because that's what we do. We immigrate people's immigration status based upon whether or not President Trump got his feelings hurt. That's how it works in this country. Yeah. Guys, what are you doing? What are we doing? A lot of you people think Steve Bannon's a good guy. What he just suggested. And here's the thing, I don't put it past it. I don't. Like I said, I said in the next couple hours, if we get breaking news that there's a gun battle between Elon Musk's security forces and ICE agents in San Francisco, we shouldn't be surprised, because we've crossed the Rubicon here today, folks. This is really a big day. 3 hours and 15 minutes later, I'm still talking. And no tips. By the way, I just want to point out, not a single fucking tip I think I got today. I don't think I heard that thing ring once. That's okay. So it's only pledge week. We're only gonna, wrap this up and never do shows again. All right, if you can support the show, help us out. I'll keep going. Or maybe not. All right, Jeff. The Biden handlers would have did that during the campaign. Jeff, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't fucking mention Biden. Don't. Come on, please. Can we stay on topic? Don't collude or confuse this with the whataboutism that everybody. This is not a whataboutism. There's no Democrats involved here. The Democrats are all just sitting there. Biden was a fucking brain dead guy who was propped up by a bunch of people who ought to be investigated for what they knew and what they didn't. But that is not a part of this discussion. That is not a part of this discussion. Please. I don't want to hear Obama mentioned. I don't want to hear any Dems mentioned. This is about what is happening inside the MAGA movement that is in total control of this country. It's about what's happening inside that. So let's not get, whataboutism. All right. Thank you. Let's see here. Byron says it rang at least once for sure. That means Byron tipped. Fucking thank you, Byron. That means you know that dude. Thank you. Appreciate that. Oh, la 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 la. Oh, here's what I wanted to say. Yeah, here's what I wanted to say. And it's so I won't mention any national people, right? Because I don't want look there really is one guy. There really is one guy in the national scene who is a congressman. Well, I'm like, ooh, I kind of like that guy. Ooh, but I don't know. Because it's like, the company you keep. Just simply being a Democrat in America now has me going, why are you in that party, right? Why aren't you an independent? Why haven't you left? I think a decent person who is in the House of Representatives today, a real decent person, should say, I am going independent as of right now. This is insane what's happening in this country. So, till people start dropping their affiliations with either party, Republican or Democrat, I can't really see you as a true option. Because you're still caucusing with a group of people that we all know are fucking deviants. That's on both sides, by the way. That's what I mean. The right and the left, they're all deviants. It's a big fucking party. We're all a bunch of rats in this country. And those people who are controlling all the levers, they get to have all the fun and do all the things. But we're just a bunch of rats to be manipulated with cheese. That said, and I'll mention this again, and I've mentioned this before, Jim Ross. Jim Ross, the mayor of Arlington. That dude blew me away. So when we say there is nobody out there, there's nobody who's on the horizon, who could we cautiously get behind, right? Let's do that from now on. Let's cautiously get behind leaders. Let's not go all in. Let's not get giant MAGA back tattoos, right? For the next guy that we like. Let's not do that. Because these people, they are working for us. Okay, we're not peasants in their wake. They're not kings. We're not anointing somebody to a monarchy. They work for us. So the pop star thing's got to end. It's got to end where you guys just love him so much. That's got to end. And interestingly enough, it's the very same people who seem to be endlessly supporting Trump who introduced that into the political conversation in this country with Obama, right? Wasn't that the problem that you all had with Obama, was that he was a rock star, that people liked him too much? I mean, hypocrisy, right? Hypocrisy isn't anything new. But Jim Ross is the mayor of Arlington. Jim Ross is a lawyer. He was a lawyer for a whole bunch of years, lived in the Arlington, built up a practice, owns a couple of businesses there as well. Successful man. Successful man in Arlington. He's in his 60s, I want to say. He's probably in his early 60s. He's an independent. He presides over the most diverse city in the entire state of Texas. Did you know that? Did you know that Arlington is the most diverse city in the state of Texas? And it's because of all of the business that Arlington has. Arlington is a massive center for business. Arlington is a real fucking city, people. I know that we sometimes just think of it as like, the crown jewel of the mid-cities, but it's no, Arlington has become a real city, a real growing city here in the part of the country, North Texas, that is the fastest growing part of the entire nation. So Arlington is legit. A couple million people. What do they got? What do they got in Arlington? I mean, it's a big area. So Jim Ross is an independent, and no, he's not the wrestling guy. He's not Jim Ross, the wrestling announcer. He's an independent. He's the mayor of Arlington, and I met him. I had heard of him. I had heard of him a couple of times because here locally he has done some things that had popped up and gotten him a little bit of press, and I've gone, oh, that's interesting. But then I got to meet him. I got to meet him when I was invited to join Mike Reiner and Grego for the, I don't know, something going on out at the ballpark in Arlington. And one of Mike Reiner's and Grego's guests was Mayor Jim Ross of Arlington. And he came and he sat with us, and we all talked and we chopped it up. And I've interviewed a lot of politicians, a lot of them. I've been on the radio during a lot of election cycles. They all come on. I've never been as blown away by somebody that I really had no knowledge of in the way that I was blown away by Jim Ross, the independent mayor of Arlington. And that's not to compare him to Paul Simon, because Paul Simon I put in a different category than Jim Ross, because I was very familiar with Paul Simon when I fell in love with him. When I actually met Paul Simon, I can't say the same for Jim Ross. Paul Simon had been my senator in Illinois since I was a little kid, so I'd been aware of what he was doing. I've only recently, in the last couple of months since meeting Jim Ross, have I actually done some real research into him. And he's a real one. He is a real one here in North Texas. Me and Mike Reiner both, I said it first, but then I heard Mike say the same thing to him. When we were finished recording, and we were all just sitting around finishing our drinks and, making nice small talk, I looked at Jim Ross, the mayor of Arlington, and I said, "You're going to be the fucking governor of Texas." And he smiled and he looked at me and he said, "I don't want it." And I go, "You'll want it if it's given to you." And he kind of smiled and closed his eyes. And I went, "You're going to be the governor of Texas." Now, I don't know when, but I certainly do think that with all of the bullshit that's happening down there in Austin right now, if Jim fucking Ross runs against Dan Patrick because, old Steel Wheels doesn't want to, go anymore, or thinks he's got something better happening, I don't know. I don't know what his deal is. Is he done? He's not term limited here in Texas. Jim Ross would kick the fuck out of Dan Patrick. I got to believe that. I got to believe that Jim Ross would kick the fuck out of Dan Patrick. Only because Jim Ross is just like Dan Patrick. Like, it's not like they're going to run some hippie like Beto, against Dan Patrick. No, they're going to run a Texas lawyer who's lived his entire life here, conservative Christian man, Arlington. They're going to run him against Dan Patrick. And when people hear Jim Ross talk, they're going to be like, oh, that's a little different. He's not making promises. He just seems real honest and real sincere and genuine. So that's who I like here in North Texas. Again, we'll see how that plays out. Don't really know enough of his body of work, but promising. And wherever it is, wherever you are, there are probably promising people. So don't think that we, this is just who it is. Only politicians are criminals and we elect them. And don't stop. Don't be cynical. Have a little bit more faith in our country. Have a little bit more faith in what we've done, what we've gone through. Things have been bad before. Things have been really bad before. We went through a revolution and a civil war, 2 world wars, Vietnam, racial unrest, 9/11. We ain't pussies. We ain't pussies, man. We can take it. So please don't let the cynicism seep in. Don't make it like, oh, woe is us, we can't do anything about it. Because we can do something about it. And it starts with us just calling bullshit finally. Just call bullshit on people now. Just stop believing things because you want to believe them. Just stop it. Because as I said earlier, there are enough of us good people left. I know it. I know there are enough of us good people left that we're going to be okay. All right, I'm done. I'm tired, you guys. It is so fucking hot. It is like 90 degrees in here. I've been sweating like a pig. This shirt is soaking wet. Can I wring this out? Here, look, you can see from the water, you can see that it's like going to hold its shape. It's going to hold the water shape. Okay. Thank you to anybody who did reach out and tip us today. It is Thursday. It has been a brutal week. This show, I've had so much fun doing it for you guys over the years. Today was fun. Today was fun because I didn't give a shit, because I feel like I'm not going to be able to do this every day anymore, and I just can't give it up, and I want to keep doing it. So that's the reason that we did this stupid ass super long show today. All right, I love you guys. Have a great one. Oh, check out Shock House. Shock House. Just go to YouTube. Just put in Shock House Dallas. Me, Keith, and Cece. Also, now I got to do the Diddy show. Holy fuck, I forgot about that. Oh, Dios mío. I got to do the Diddy show now. Diddy got yelled at today. Oh, Diddy got yelled at by Judge Aram Subramanian. I know I told you at the start of the show that I was going to break that story down, but now you got to listen to tonight's episode of Diddy or Didn't He, which I'll be recording here in the next hour. All right, folks, thank you so much. Appreciate you. We'll be back tomorrow. Tip the show if you haven't, even if it just comes to dropping something. I mean, come on, I'm busting my ass here. All right, love you. Bye, everybody. Have a great one.